they had nothing to do with each other.
What's he doing here?
Then their parents got married.
We're getting married!
Now they're a family.
They are considered the last of the classic Nickelodeon era.
On an all-new Drake and Josh.
Before social media took over, when your kid's show could still have a little edge in it.
What's up, guys? I'm Drake. I'm Josh.
And that show was
D&J!
you know what? Let's be a little bit more specific to the new viewers at home.
Josh and Drake.
Say that again. That doesn't sound right.
Josh and Drake. Make it Drake and Josh. It sounds weird the other way.
Starring Josh Peck as Josh Nichols.
That's not Josh.
Yes, I am.
And Drake Bell as Drake Parker.
Drake, you be you.
I wanted to be Drake.
And all of this because two kids made wrestling over shrimp worthwhile television. From January 11th, 2004 to September 16th, 2007, Drake and Josh was Nickelodeon.
On Saturday, catch a Drake versus Josh marathon.
The kids couldn't get enough, but the show's appeal went beyond kids.
I get the parents and the adults sitting down going, you know, when Drake and Josh comes on, I sit and I watch with them, and it's so cool that, you know, they don't go, oh, I can't sit well watch that show with my kids. It's bringing the families together.
And families love it, which is bugged out.
Drake Parker was played by Jared Drake Bell.
I'm Drake Bell, and you might know me from a little show called Drake and Josh. I just went by Drake my whole life as a kid. My mom wanted to name me Jared. My dad wanted to name me Drake.
Born June 27th, 1986, in Newport Beach, California.
I'm from Orange County, and
He is the youngest child of Robin Dodson and Joe Bell. Robin Dodson was a professional billiards player.
Your mother's a professional billiards player. You used to go on tour with her, right? While she was doing the pro
yeah,
circuit?
she's actually two-time world champion pool player.
This, of course, he's a billiard champ as well.
And is described as running a very strict household.
My mom is like June Cleaver.
She's a godly woman.
Yeah, very religious.
Yes.
Like she's just a perfect lady.
Drake was raised with three older brothers,
My brother Travis,
Joey,
my brother Robert.
and an older sister, Kelly. When his parents divorced, Joe Bell would look for an outlet for Drake Bell to focus on.
They got divorced. My dad needed something to do. He was putting me in Little League, and I wasn't having fun doing that. I was having more fun like entertaining the guys on the bench.
And with Drake being a natural showman, Hollywood seemed like the natural place for him.
I grew up on a lot of old stuff like, you know, Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin and all these old vintage guys, everything in black and white. And so I'd like try and impersonate them. And my dad was like, dude, maybe my kid's more into, maybe she get into show business. You know, I just always loved entertaining people and being funny and joking around and playing music. And my dad just one day said, is this something you really want to do and take seriously? And at the ripe old age of 5 years old, I said yes.
Joe Bell would take it upon himself to find an agent to bring Drake to auditions.
We were just flying blind. Like we weren't in the industry. We didn't know anything. Luckily, we only lived an hour from LA, but we just kind of were like, all right, let's try this and go find agents or whatever.
You wonder, what draws a kid to acting?
What's in the getting acting, Drake? The money.
It wouldn't take long for Drake to start getting television roles.
It's acting. You show up, you say some stuff, you go home. Anyone can do it.
His first role in a sitcom will be playing the part of Little Pete in an episode of Home Improvement.
I'd like you to meet Little Pete.
Hi, little Pete. How you doing?
Hi.
I was Little Pete. I was Pete Bilker's son. That was really cool. That was a long time ago.
Funny enough, this role on Home Improvement would lead to a chance encounter with star Jonathan Taylor Thomas many years later.
Who didn't want to be Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
And then he, what happened? Where is he?
He bought my house.
Really?
Yeah. So I pulled him aside. I'm like, bro, I was on your show. Like, I was Little Pete. Like, we worked together.
Drake would also land a part in the smash hit Tom Cruise movie, Jerry Maguire.
My dad did all of the acting stuff with me. So she's never on set. She doesn't know what I'm doing. So she's going to church.
And your dad's like, if Tom Cruise says that you should you tell Tom Cruise to and you just tell him.
Though this role may have been a little bit more raunchy than his mother was expecting.
And I can't tell my mom what I say in the movie. So the whole time, she's telling her friends, I'm just like, oh my god, my mom is gonna kill me. Like, my mom is gonna, like, what is she gonna do when she sees this movie? And so finally, my mom saw the movie and she just lost her mind. She's like, I cannot believe I told all of my friends to go see my son cuss Tom Cruise out.
And you may even recognize a young Drake Bell playing the Frogger Machine in an episode of Seinfeld.
Jason Alexander, George Costanza has the high score, the Frogger Machine at the pizza shop, and I'm the kid playing the Frogger Machine who he's like, go this way, go that way, and then I die, and I'm like,
Yeah, thanks a lot, mister.
Suddenly, he went from bit parts to actually starring in movies, such as Dragon World: The Legend Continues, which was released in the spring of 1999. Half a year later, he would be starring in Nickelodeon's The Amanda Show.
So I was living in Orange County, but I was like driving back and forth every day to LA just to, audition and then eventually work on Amanda shows and Drake and Josh.
Intense!
Drake Bell and Amanda Bynes would be the only two cast members of that show to star in every single episode. Josh Nichols was played by Joshua Michael Peck.
Let me tell you a little bit about myself.
Born November 10th, 1986, in New York City, New York.
I'm the son of a single parent. I was born during the Great Depression. My mother's.
He grew up with his maternal grandmother and his mother, Barbara, who was a career coach.
And then she had a regular job like till I was 16, and then I just was working so much with Drake and Josh and whatnot that I was able to sort of help the family, but it was always like a joint effort. I saw my mom and like what she had sacrificed, and it was like my pleasure to be able to help.
Josh would credit his mom for being his main source of comedy inspiration. He even patterned his comedy style after her.
I couldn't be like the chubby sad kid.
Yeah.
And so I immediately just started cracking jokes. My mom's super funny and she's like a natural character, so I like retell.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and she's dope, and I would like retell her dirty jokes at like Hanukkah dinner and shit.
That's awesome.
They'd be like, this bugged out chubby kid is hilarious.
Josh would never meet his real father.
No, never met him. And he's deceased now, so that's a wrap. It's a wrap on the dadness.
In numerous interviews, Josh would admit that this did scar him.
But I remember I had an interview for this movie that I did called The Whackness, and so all this international foreign press was there.
Yeah.
And so you're sitting there in front of all these journalists, and it's a little intimidating. And the first question's like, "Where's your dad?" And I was like, your guess is as good as mine.
Josh would credit his mom with being the reason why he doesn't feel like he has any abandonment issues.
You know what the truth is like I have such a great mom, and it was like I wasn't crazy curious.
Josh never even felt the need to seek out his birth father.
I was in my 20s, and I'd grown up, and I'd done a lot of work on myself, and through the ups and downs of life, and I just was like, I've made it, and I know what you're gonna get, which is like a kid who doesn't need anything from you.
Yeah.
And like a good guy who's like a good person, and what do I get?
Yeah.
Like 100%. This dude that never wanted to know me.
Josh was 26 years old when he found out that his birth father had passed away.
My mom told me, she would randomly Google him every couple years, and she found an obituary for him. I know.
Peck started to attend Tada Youth Center and performed stand-up comedy at Caroline's on Broadway.
I naturally started loving performing and whatnot just because I like being able to make people laugh before they could make fun of me.
Yeah.
Please welcome Josh Peck.
In 1996, he found his way onto The Rosie O'Donnell Show.
I used to do stand-up comedy when I was 9 years old. This is how I got into the business. Rosie O'Donnell discovered me. She put me on her show.
So what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be an entomologist.
What's an entomologist?
The study of entomans.
Ba-dum-bum, Shecky Peck.
Thank you, I'm an old soul.
You're an old soul. Yeah, I think you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And at the age of 13, The Amanda Show, for its second season, wanted Josh to become a cast member.
Well, you know what they say about kid actors. They're the worst.
But, at his mother's suggestion, Josh left New York and headed to LA. Josh becoming a cast member for season 2 of The Amanda Show wasn't exactly what Drake Bell wanted.
I'm like, whoa, I'm the only guy in the cast. When I see Josh Peck on the call sheet, I'm like, Josh Peck?
Zoom in, bum.
No, not Josh Peck.
Josh Peck?
You can even see a young Josh Peck acting on ER.
I told you I didn't want surgery.
You were in a lot of pain when you said that.
This was 4 months of acting class, by the way. Had no idea what I was doing. Still don't, but whatever. What are you going to judge me?
Was this you just got to LA? How old are you here?
This was when we were doing The Amanda Show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No way.
The Amanda Show was a sketch comedy show that aired on Nickelodeon from October 16th, 1999 to September 21st, 2002, with a pilot that aired April 4th, 1999. The show was filmed in Los Angeles and starred Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes was pulling double duty at the time, wrapping up season 6, her final year as a cast member on All That. At the end of season 6 of All That, the entire cast was replaced. Amanda Bynes was a big thing at Nickelodeon.
I'd already been a fan of hers from All That.
Yeah.
And so going to work with her, it was like, wow, I get to work. She was a star to me. She was for me as if somebody was going to get to go work on Seinfeld. You know, oh, I get to work with Jerry Seinfeld. Working with Amanda Bynes was like, wow, I get to work with Amanda.
Why'd you guys eat my brownies?
No.
Crazy.
Amanda Bynes was considered one of the most talented comedic kid actors of any generation.
I mean, we had adults in the cast who could do every voice and every this, and they were veterans, and they've been on this and that, and they've done this show in Broadway and blah, 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 blah. And here's this 12, 13-year-old girl just going, just running circles around him, changing costumes, changing faces, doing voices, doing characters, doing this, doing that, and keeping the energy up. And, you know, she's unbelievable talent.
The years since haven't been as kind to Amanda.
I haven't talked to Amanda in years. I talked to her a little bit when she was going through her thing.
And you can't have a sketch show without other performers. And that is where Drake and Josh found out that they had quite a bit in common. They became very fast friends.
I remember when we were 11, 12 years old, we were on the Amanda Show, and I would go, you know, I'd go hang out at his house, and we'd have sleepovers, and we'd sit up at night, and I'd go, okay, what's our show gonna be about? You know, and we would come up with these ideas and everything, and we, not even thinking we would ever have a show, really. You know, never, this was years before Drake and Josh. This was just us fantasizing.
And developed a natural chemistry with each other.
He was just, vamping with everybody, and the stuff that was coming out of his mouth, I'm like, whoa, this is like a young Buddy Hackett, young Jackie Gleason. And then I'm mentioning that stuff to him, and he's like, oh yeah, well, I love the Honeymooners, you know, and I'm like, whoa, what? Like,
the Honeymooners?
Hang on a second,
Yeah.
We might get along.
I don't have to talk to him. I don't have to, hey, Josh, can we just look at each other? It's like, no, I know. Oh, I know. It's weird.
Oh, forever. Oh, long time.
Long enough to finish each other's sentences?
No doubt about it.
All right, word.
Which came in handy on the Amanda Show.
Sometimes it would just be a line in the script. It'd be like, you know, Drake and Josh fight over a shrimp, and there'd be like no dialogue, but it'd be a full scene of us just improvising and riffing and stuff like that.
Sometimes they wouldn't give us a character, right? Sure. They would just be like, here's your wardrobe and here's the wig you're wearing. Yes. And then you just have to do something. Create it.
Oftentimes, the young cast was told to improv their dialogue, come up with something funny on the spot, letting the young performers come up with their own material.
Hey, I got it.
He's got it.
Okay.
One of these sketches involved Drake and Josh wrestling over a piece of shrimp that they found laying on the ground.
And they were doing a scene where they were fighting over a piece of shrimp. And I think it was Steve Milaro. I think it was. I'm not really sure. I don't remember who it is. But I think he's one of the guys that works, what's the show? Big Bang Theory. He's the show that's there. I think he's the one who came up to him and said, look, and pointed to Drake and Josh, and we're like, there's your show.
One of the writers on the show, Steve Milaro, who's actually the showrunner for Big Bang Theory now, leaned over to Dan Schneider and said, you know this is your next show. He said, these two guys, this is your next show. And then that became Drake and Josh.
And that is where our story really begins.
All Drake, all Josh, all day long.
As the Amanda Show came to an end, it was time for Drake and Josh to get their shot.
Drake Bell and Josh Peck. They've grown up on The Amanda Show, battling lobsters, fending off frog puppets, and getting beaten up by girls on a regular basis. So what's next for this dynamic duo? Their own show. Nickelodeon presents Drake and Josh in Drake and Josh, Nick's newest comedy, premiering January 11th in Teen Nick. What have we done?
Drake and Josh was created by Dan Schneider and his production company, Schneider's Bakery, along with Nickelodeon Productions.
Hey, Dan Schneider, and so it's...
No, the show wasn't made by
Paramore Studios in association with Dreamscope.
Dan Schneider was a proven hitmaker at Nickelodeon, bouncing from one big success to another.
From the network and executive producer that brought you The Amanda Show, Keenan and Kel and all that, comes a new series that will test the limits of brotherly love.
Drake Bell grew up on Nickelodeon, so the idea of being part of Dan Schneider's next big hit show was quite an enticing prospect.
I thought it was so rad because I grew up on all that and Keenan and Kel, and so I just was so stoked. I was like, dude, rad, I get to be like Keenan and Kel, like the stuff I grew up on.
For eagle-eyed observers, you'll often notice in a Dan Schneider show the amount of callbacks in the background.
Stupid Schneiders.
Sometimes you'll see a star from one of his past shows show up in a cameo role on his new show. This developed into something called the Schneiderverse, an idea that all Dan Schneider shows all happen in the same universe. Dan Schneider was and is a controversial figure in Nickelodeon history. One Google search will fill you in on that. On a professional level, he's said to be quite a perfectionist when it comes to his sets.
And working under the stress of a perfectionist like Dan Schneider, who will do 57 takes of something to get it right, which is, sometimes you got to do it.
So what was this new show going to be about?
And we would stay up all night and go, maybe we live in an apartment and you live across the hall from me and I'm a guitar player and you become my manager.
Well, they eventually came up with a theme.
It's Drake Parker. It's Josh Nichols. Can two teenagers who would never be friends learn to live as brothers?
And they even allowed the two boys to keep their first name.
Well, we got to keep our first name, which was dope.
To round out the cast, playing the mother was Nancy Sullivan. Nancy Sullivan was already working with them on The Amanda Show.
Before that, I had done The Amanda Show, Amanda Bynes' sketch show, and the two boys, they were so great together that they gave them a show, and I went along as the mom, which was fantastic.
Nancy had made a name for herself as a TV pitch woman.
Bring your products, your awesome products. They might be pitched by me.
If I buy one, will you two stop talking in those annoying voices?
For the role of Josh's dad, the pilot would choose Stephen first. But because either he was not going to be available for future episodes, or he was recast.
So it's actually funny to go back and look at the original pilot, because we have a different dad, and we did some recasting and stuff like that.
He would be replaced by Jonathan Goldstein.
His name is Jonathan Goldstein. He is a very serious actor in LA.
LA?
We're getting married!
We're getting married! Jonathan Goldstein at the time was a bit player who was working in a restaurant. He did have a connection, though. He was friends with Dan Schneider. For the role of little sister Megan, Miranda Cosgrove landed the part at the age of 8.
You would not want to be a little girl on a TV show.
Interesting. Well, I've been on Drake and Josh since I was like 8, so I've known them forever.
At the same time, she had just finished auditioning to get the part in School of Rock.
I actually went to the audition, like the last call for Drake and Josh, and we did the pilot, and then I did this, and it was really the first two things I ever did.
We'd be doing anything today. My parents don't pay $50,000 a year.
According to this unauthorized Miranda Cosgrove biography, working with Drake and Josh was a very big deal for a young Miranda.
I'd watched The Amanda Show religiously. I knew who Drake and Josh were really well. All of my friends, they'd never been excited about anything I'd done before, like the McDonald's commercial. They didn't care that I met Ronald. They were excited about me meeting you guys. And then I got to meet you on the screen test. And so I thought, well, at least now I can tell my friends about him, even if I don't get it. But then I ended up getting the part.
Up until Drake and Josh, Miranda Cosgrove had only been starring in television commercials.
It was a Mellow Yellow, which they don't even make anymore, right? Mellow Yellow commercial on the beach, and I got cut out.
Solid. Well,
I did great.
Welcome to Hollywood. Yeah.
And then I did a McDonald's commercial, and I was really excited because I got to meet the McDonald's guy. And then
Ronald.
And then I didn't work again for 10 years. No, just kidding.
And unlike Megan, Miranda wanted to spend as much time around Drake and Josh as she could. Drake would even teach her some guitar and swing dance.
What is Miranda's favorite film?
I know this one. Free Willy.
Part 2. I'll give it to you anyway.
All right.
Technicality.
Okay.
So with the main cast in place, it was time to make a pilot.
You can't just barge into our house and make a sign thing.
Take it downstairs, sir.
Let's see, a regular day on Drake and Josh, we started today around 10. We start with the table read.
Sitting around a table.
All the writers are there, the
writers.
directors, producers, and all the actors. And we rehearse for, 3 hours?
3-4 hours, and then we go home. And then
we do a run-through. Okay, run-through is when we do the show at show level where we're actually moving around, but we're in street clothes. We're not dressed up, no makeup. And then we come back on Monday and we shoot it.
While making the pilot, it was evident to everybody on set the natural chemistry that Drake and Josh shared.
Don't make faces, dude. Drake!
Though with all the homegrown talent on board with this project,
Yeah, I'm fine.
it took a while before Nickelodeon would greenlight the pilot.
Man, we made that first pilot, and then we made a whole other pilot.
Because he brought in a new father.
A new father, yeah.
Yeah.
My brother's on the show, and he's kind of the nerdy, wacky kid, and I'm kind of the think I'm a cool guy, but I'm not really that smooth.
This was Kids' Choice Awards 2003.
We made this show and everyone, like, we think it's funny, but Nickelodeon just keeps telling us we're never going to get picked up.
And they took forever to greenlight the show. I mean,
They
it
do
was
that at
like
Nick with everything.
yeah.
with
So
every
we do the pilot, and a year goes by. I'm like, we look different. We're older.
So this would have been a year before we started shooting Drake and Josh, and this was the first red carpet we did after finding out that we had got Drake and Josh the show.
The show was given a 6-episode season 1.
Hi, I'm Drake, and this is my
Brother?
Yeah, my brother Josh.
Can't you see the resemblance?
Actually, we're not really related. My mom married his dad.
Yeah, and now we're gonna do all the great stuff brothers do. Play video games, do homework, meet girls.
Whoa, chill, man. Just because we're brothers now doesn't mean we have to do things together.
Dad! Okay.
Maybe a few things.
Well, can I borrow your basketball? Your guitar? Your underwear? Mom!
It would premiere January 11th, 2004. Hilary Duff would host a night of Teen Nick.
Hilary Duff comes to Teen Nick for the world premiere of Teen Nick's newest comedy, Drake and Josh.
It's Drake and Josh, coming soon to the first kids network, Nickelodeon.
And that would be the debut of Drake and Josh.
All right. This is gonna be great.
Drake, Josh, we're waiting.
Huh? Oh shoot, we're in this. Go! Let's go!
And now, the world premiere of Drake and Josh, right here in Teen Nick.
So who are Drake and Josh? Well, first, let's get to know the character Drake Parker.
Drake Parker!
My name's Drake Parker.
I'm Drake Bell, and I play Drake Parker on the upcoming show Drake and Josh. He's got a band, and he plays guitar.
And my favorite music, rock and roll.
His favorite band is Zero Gravity,
Zero Gravity is my favorite band of all time.
which, based on my evidence, is a Rolling Stone parody.
Zero Gravity, over my thumb.
And how would you describe Drake Parker?
Hippie!
You communist! You ain't no Wayne Newton!
And how would his new brother describe him?
He's just one of those guys who can get away with anything.
The Drake character on the show is just a pretty exaggerated version of myself, I guess.
It's gotta be fun being you.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I think he's an exaggerated version of me, yeah.
At the start of the series, both of the brothers are 15 years old.
I'm gonna be 16 in just a few months.
What else do we learn about Drake?
Drake mumbles in his sleep.
He's a Caucasian male.
We're not Caucasian, we're white guys.
He's much more smooth and cool.
Drake would be considered a user of people, whether it's his brother or girls who are attracted to him.
And last night she starts yelling at me just because I happened to stare at this other hot girl who walked by. 6, 8, and 9.5. And I got a serious date with, Robin? No, Cheryl? No, Rebecca? That was last night. Lori? No. Stacy? I don't like half the girls I date.
Maybe this unhealthy attitude is the reason his mother has him in counseling.
Counseling twice a week.
But Mom, Dr. Stein makes me talk through puppets.
But the ladies, they love Drake.
I've only had like 74 girlfriends. Last week, Drake took 2 girls to a concert, kissed them both.
But he asked me out.
Doesn't matter if they're older nurses,
He made out with me.
cheerleaders,
Mandy.
or goth girls.
There's a lot of candy out there, Josh, and you are looking at Mr. Willy Wonka.
There's even one that shows up in multiple episodes who knows everything about Drake.
You won last year too, right?
He won last year and the year before. That's 2 years in a row. And when he wins this year, that'll be a three-peat.
Who knows more about Drake Parker than Drake Parker does.
He won last year and the year before. That's 2 years in a row. And when he wins this year, that'll be a three-peat.
Who is she?
And based on the timeline of when this show aired, I think he made out with Vice President Dick Cheney's granddaughter.
Once, Josh and I were in the same room as the vice president. I got to meet his 16-year-old granddaughter. The granddaughter, I made out with her. Until the vice president caught us and chased me down the street.
Drake Bell was getting to live out every teen boy's dream.
I mean, there's scenes where I would sit down on an airplane, and I get the middle seat, and I get to sit between two hot girls, and I'm like, oh, all right, and I've never met them, and I turn to one, and I start making out with her, and then I look at the other one, and I shrug, and I start making out with her, and I mean, I'm like, this is Nickelodeon, like, how, this is not MTV, this is not Showtime, this is not HBO, like, how is this okay? But all right, and it aired, and they made it.
Don't make me turn the hose on you children.
But sometimes having every girl want you can backfire, like the time that Drake accidentally married Josh's pen pal.
Married? We're just married.
You're married and you're hitting on me?
When he isn't using the women, Drake was taking advantage of his brother Josh.
Selling your stuff on eBay.
That's Josh's wallet.
All right, I'll give you 40.
Done.
And getting into a lot of weird hijinks.
You drove the lawnmower into the living room.
Filled our swimming pool with lobsters.
Didn't Mom say you couldn't keep a raccoon as a pet?
I don't trust you with wildlife after what you did to that dolphin.
Drake and Josh both go to Bellevue High School. The show was never very consistent on how smart Drake actually was.
We never addressed just how stupid we were.
So dumb. And I got dumber. Like, sometimes it was so stupid that I was like America? Like, I've never read America.
Like, you couldn't live on your own.
No way could I live on my own.
Really, you're not a smart boy.
Josh Nichols was considered the responsible brother.
And a responsible person is a successful person. Whether it's babysitting, keeping your word, cleaning your room, or studying for your midterms. Midterms? Oh.
Well, Drake Parker was considered the screw-up.
Don't worry about homework. Eat candy, watch tons of TV.
Drake doesn't do his homework.
I should probably be doing my homework.
He doesn't study for midterms.
Man, midterms.
And that's why he's always in a constant state of about to fail out of school.
I don't do great in school. A D-.
You know how hard he works to maintain his D average?
Or you're gonna have to repeat Algebra 2. Again.
But maybe Drake Parker actually was intelligent, and the Bellevue school system was failing him.
Greek.
Wrong. Todd.
Greek?
Correct.
It is shown that he can be quite observant.
Would this Poosin have anything to do with my Susan?
Make witty jokes.
So your project's about gravity?
And do accurate fast math in his head.
You figure an hour and 43 minutes for the line, 6 minutes to ride the Demonator, 13 minutes to find the car, and 22 minutes to drive home. That puts us at the front door at exactly 10:58, which is 2 minutes before Mom and Dad said they'd be home.
I think all he really needed was a good geography tutor.
South America. There's a New Jersey?
Vietnam?
Where's that? New Jersey?
Where is Rome?
Romania?
So let's learn a little bit about Josh Nichols.
Josh Nichols.
I'm Josh Peck, and I play Josh Nichols.
I'm Josh Nichols.
He's very loving and like a good guy, but he's really geeky and kind of trips himself up.
Josh Nichols is just like me to the 10th power. It's just all my nerdiness and geekiness that I try to mask and don't do a very good job of.
I follow all the rules, because if I even just think about doing something wrong, I get busted.
Growing up means embracing responsibility, proving to yourself and others that you are capable of handling all of life's many challenges.
Josh has taken part of a lot of activities in his life.
He's not like really concerned about what other people think. He just does what's fun for him and what makes him happy.
You're back on that internet dating service?
No. Never again. You can ask my swim coach, he's seen it.
We could play a game I learned at improv comedy camp.
Well, hopefully he stayed away from this camp.
Shut the fuck up, Clyde!
He had an incident there before.
I hate you, you know that? I really do.
Never afraid to bust out a trick, even if it was in front of his idol, or his cellmate, or the vice president.
His bodyguards wrestle me to the ground.
Josh's musical tastes include
Your favorite band, the Hailstones?
Where's my Clayton playlist?
he's a snorer,
Like a hobo with a sinus infection.
he didn't hit puberty until late, and he grew up with a dog,
When I was little, I had a poodle and a fern. I named them both Jerry.
a turtle,
This is all because I forgot to feed my pet turtle, Sheldon.
not a fish.
This is all because I forgot to feed my pet fish. It's not a fish, it's a turtle.
Drake and Josh's life would be much less complicated if not for their little sister Megan.
Megan the sneaky sis.
She's always one step ahead of us.
Because you're a devious, twisted little girl.
Why, thank you, Drake.
Who treats her brothers like a bunch of boobs.
You boob.
Something she called them for the very first time in episode 1 of season 2. In season 2, we can pinpoint Megan's exact age.
I'm 9.5.
Megan's interests include
School, oboe practice, gymnastics, and collecting antique sponges.
she also owns a few exotic animals,
I got a snake.
but she is allergic to cats,
You're allergic to cats.
even though the show forgets that later on.
It's crazy. When I watch myself on TV, I'm always thinking like, oh no, how could I have done that? And I go crazy like seeing these little things I do that probably other people would like never even notice and stuff like that.
Megan takes every opportunity to torture her brothers.
What Drake would like to say is that he's the luckiest guy in the world to have a sister like me. Josh disagrees. He would like to argue that he is actually the luckiest guy in the world. Now that our mom married his dad, I'm his sister too.
Who pulls the most pranks on set?
Miranda.
Miranda.
Miranda, she's the prankster.
Megan's pranks range from innocent tricks to somewhat harmful to straight up criminal.
Well, I'm pretty much up to the same old things. A bunch of tricks and crazy stuff.
Oh, wow.
I'm dyeing Drake's feet and hands green. So I've been doing pretty much the same kind of crazy stuff.
Megan was even the cause of Drake and Josh's very first fight. You could say that Megan Parker was straight up evil,
So evil.
often threatening Drake and Josh's very safety.
Your time will come.
And so will yours, Josh. So will yours. You get on one of my nerves this weekend, and you'll both wake up tomorrow morning very confused in Cuba.
And these weren't idle threats.
She frightens me.
She actually would follow through.
Like when I was in a hot tub and she put 2 baby sharks in the water.
Like when she told the police I buried Josh in the backyard.
She even got physically violent with them, and she was okay with letting them potentially die in a helicopter crash.
Yo, Megan sucks, right?
It's no wonder that the brothers often feel this way.
Uh-oh.
How are the
Yeah,
parents not catching on
This
to
should be
Megan?
interesting.
What was that?
I don't know.
It's not like the parents haven't heard her say vindictive
But if he
statements.
cries and I miss it, I'm just gonna have to make him cry again.
I hope you don't die.
Love you too.
Sometimes even the parents fall victim to one of her gadgets. So how can they still think that she's a sweet, innocent little girl?
I mean, look how sweet she is playing with her dolls.
Throughout the series, Megan never stops harassing her brothers, even incorporating in many gadgets. There is the unanswered question of how does Megan afford all this stuff? Does she do government secret agent jobs?
How did you get a boombox to fire paintballs?
I know a guy.
Does she have an anonymous benefactor?
For you.
A check for $50,000?
Clearly, the parents aren't paying for any of this stuff. If they did, they wouldn't look so confused when she has an intercom system.
Josh and Drew, please report for dinner.
Where does she get this stuff?
None of your business.
With all the torturing that Megan does to the brothers, viewers shouldn't be that shocked when Drake and Josh want nothing to do with her. It would seem that Megan hates her brothers, but there are moments on the show where they show that they have each other's back.
Buddy guy, meet the FBI. FBI, meet buddy and guy.
You set us up.
Yeah, I did.
Even if it's sometimes for a sinister reason.
I hate Mindy just as much as you do.
What is that?
Because she makes your life miserable. And that's my job.
Because you're my brother. And I can tell you're sad and scared and upset.
And I can't stand to see you that way, unless I cause it.
Megan and her actual brother Drake have moments of sibling bonding, and I even think she's secretly supportive of his music career.
I think Drake's gonna be on next.
They share a mutual bond of enjoying Drake get busted. As Megan got older, she must have actually started to like her brothers, knowing that they were actually pretty good guys who always had her back. They weren't going to allow her to date a scummy guy.
We're done. I love you guys.
You almost get the feeling that if they had a season 5, Megan and the brothers would have teamed up a lot more.
The world we're making doesn't do bad things to us.
Drake and Megan's mother married Josh's father. And while we know that Josh's father is named Walter, on the show, it was never said what the mother's name was.
Audrey, yeah. It was written on a piece of paper, like when we were like arrested. I don't know, one of the episodes where we were like arrested, or we were something where they had to look at a piece of paper and it looked at it and it was the only place that said like Audrey Nichols, because it.
As it was the writer's intention to never actually let you know. We did learn little facts about the mom along the way.
It even has her birthstone, see? Blue topaz.
Her birthstone would indicate that she was born in December. And in a Q&A session, Drake would let us know what she did for a living.
That she was a caterer. I thought that she was a veterinarian for some reason. I don't know why. I put that in my brain. And somebody was doing Drake and Josh trivia, and they're like, you know what, your mom did for a living? I'm like, yeah, she was a veterinarian. And they were like, no? And I'm like, yeah, she was. Watch. And I'm like, I'll text the creator right now. What did my mom on Drake and Josh do for a living? Caterer. What are you talking? When? How? What? I'm like, no, dude, she was a vet. She was a veterinarian. And he was like, no, like that was never the case. Like she's never been a veterinarian. Like who told? Where did that come from?
Josh's father, Walter, we knew was a weatherman.
Son, you're blocking downtown.
And that must have been one of the things that attracted Audrey.
My dad's a weatherman. Wow, my mom loves weathermen.
We learned that their meet cute even revolved around shrimp.
After I asked you out, I did throw up.
Yeah, but I thought that was because of those bad shrimp.
Shrimp being the nexus point to the entire Drake and Josh universe. She must have been attracted to Walter's lovable goofiness. In another universe, Drake and Megan's stepdad could have been Bruce Winchell.
Winchell? I knew it was going to be sunny, so I thought, who should
Walter's weatherman rival.
Not mention Bruce Winchell's name in this house.
Really is like cotton candy.
And you could never figure out if Walter was a great weatherman that was worthy of being a national anchor, or a complete joke.
Aren't you the weather guy from Channel 2? That's right. I am. Why does everyone do that?
And my father happens to be the weatherman on KXTV in San Diego.
That's a goof, Josh.
This blended family seemed to gel very fast. Once you got past the pilot, you'd easily forget that they weren't all blood related. Josh seemed to have taken to the mom very quickly. They had in-jokes.
Looking good.
Not as good as you looking, boy.
He sought advice from her.
I am going to give you some tips on picking up girls.
And when something required a responsible adult...
What, you don't trust me?
She looked at Josh.
Josh, promise me.
No worries.
Not
her own son, to handle it.
Josh, you did this?
What? But Drake's the one that said Ine Kurasai Unjugo Utaya when the sun was in the house of car fog.
What?
Walter seemed pretty enamored by Drake's personality.
Well, he is pretty charming.
Not helping.
And is seen to be quite a supporter of Drake's musical dream.
I don't know. It took you so long.
At first, Drake wasn't ready to accept Walter as his new stepdad. They hadn't exactly bonded.
Bond?
Yeah, you know, father-son interaction.
But it didn't take long for Drake to accept his new stepdad.
Yeah, well, my band's show tonight is just as important as your dad's dinner.
Hey, he's your dad now too, you know.
Whatever.
He was even shown to be quite worried when he thought another woman was trying to take Walter away from his mom. Drake and Megan would become very attached to Walter.
He's my dad now, too.
Drake and I became friendly, really. We used to, there's a great record store not far from the studio where we used to film called Amoeba. And Drake and I would go over to Amoeba Records, and we sort of became, that's how we first really became friends, because we were both big Beatle fans.
Hey, I got that gig.
What? No way. Congratulations. Come on inside. Let's have a drink.
I was really fond of the relationship that Walter and Megan had.
Night, Mom. Night, Walter.
When did she start
I
calling
don't
me?
know.
You know, the fact that she kind of was smarter than everybody in the family.
Robert, here I come. Don't swallow Daddy.
There were scenes where she and I would work together where she would make fun of me. And Drake and Josh were a thing. It kind of felt to me sometimes that Megan and Walter had this weird relationship as well that I thought was really, really funny, the way she was just smarter than him.
This doesn't surprise me.
I'm helping your mother.
Uh-huh.
So now that we learned about the family, let's tackle the family tree. That rumored lost episode where you meet Josh's mom and Drake's dad. That's not a real thing.
Hey, I want to ask, what do you know about this rumored unreleased episode of Drake and Josh where we meet Drake's dad and Josh's mom?
Oh. That makes cool though. That doesn't exist.
That's some fan fiction.
No, that's a fan fiction. But no, I don't think we ever addressed who or what my mom or.
The family you do meet includes his widowed grandma, his great-grandfather Papa Nichols,
My
a
cousin's
bow-legged
Dairy
cousin, a truck-driving
I
aunt,
punched my Aunt Barb.
who may be the same aunt that they refer to in this clip,
The stink bomb at my sister's wedding.
Oh, come on. Even you hate your sister.
and on Drake's side you have a 90-year-old Aunt Catherine, who everybody in the family hates.
Since when do you like Aunt Catherine?
I don't.
So if you're gonna have an iconic show, you need an iconic theme.
We should try and write a theme song. You know, I should show up with a theme song for the show, because the song right now is just a Lenny Kravitz song. It's a song everybody's heard on the radio. Like, I want somebody in their bedroom that's working on their homework to hear the theme song and go, oh, Drake and Josh is on.
Stop me if you've heard this song before.
Okay, this is a song I wrote called I Found a Way.
Thought that it'd be too crazy, but I found a way, I found a way. If you open up your mind, see what's inside. It's gonna take some time to realign.
It's gonna take some time to realign, not realize. Because that doesn't rhyme. Realize doesn't rhyme with anything in the song. Think about it.
But if you look inside, sure you'll find. Over your shoulder, you know that I told you I'd always be picking you up when you're down.
It's become one of those songs that everybody under the age of 30 kind of knows.
You know, it was never a radio hit, but everywhere that we go, everywhere around the world,
The biggest song.
the second that we start those three chords, we're
We're gonna take an E, an A, and a B. If you're gonna play it along with the actual song, tune your guitar down to E flat.
the entire audience erupts and sings the song.
Drake and Josh, I found a way.
And I look at my band, I'm like, you know what? We had a number one. We had a hit song. That's the equivalent.
Which is pretty crazy because this song was never meant to exist. The actual theme song to Drake and Josh was going to be a Lenny Kravitz song.
It was a what's his name? Lenny Kravitz song. I don't want somebody to hear our theme song and maybe TRL is on, or maybe it's VH1, or maybe it's a commercial.
I kind of get the feeling, based on the interviews that I listened to, it was going to be the Lenny Kravitz song, Are You Gonna Go My Way?
You know, because that was a song that was licensed a lot, you know?
Right. You've got Lenny Kravitz in a gas station bathroom. Just fix it!
And so, you know, I just wanted it to be more identifiable with the show.
Drake Bell and his writing partner, Backhouse Mike, would go off to create a theme song.
That's where somebody will look at you and be like, oh, you're so lucky that you were able to write the theme song for Drake and Josh. And it's like, no, I just saw an opportunity.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was prepared for that. I went and I prepared for the opportunity. You know what I mean? It's like I had Saturday and Sunday. You know, I could have gone out with my friend and gone swimming and gone to a party that night. But I didn't. I spent 16 hours of my weekend preparing for this opportunity on Monday.
Exactly.
And the opportunity met preparation.
So you wrote the theme song for Drake and Josh, your show on Nickelodeon.
Yep. Later on, I started writing and singing my own songs, and now one of them is the theme song to our show Drake and Josh.
At first, they wanted to make the show's theme song sound like your classic sitcom.
When I write a song, sometimes I sit in my room and play my guitar for hours until I think of something. It's a little more personal, you know? When I'm acting, I'm reading someone else's material, so it's much more personal when it's your own words. I love writing and performing my own songs, but I really don't like the sound of my own voice. It's not that I don't like my voice, it's kind of weird hearing myself sing. It's like watching myself on TV. I always have something where I'm like, oh, I should have done that there.
But inspiration was not hitting, so they decided a different route had to be taken.
We're just wasting time. It's been like 6 hours. We're not coming up with anything. Let's not waste the day. Let's just write a song. You know, let's just forget about trying to make it sound like a theme song. And I think that's where our block was, because we were trying to sound like a theme song. I said, let's just write a song. And we started writing this tune. It sounded pretty cool, like kind of Elvis Costello vibe. I was like, oh, this is cool. We started writing some lyrics. I said, wait, hang on. What if we wrote the lyrics to what we're writing right now to kind of go with, instead of it being like a guy and a girl or a love interest or anything like that, what if it's like just like your bro? Like I'm gonna pick you up when you're down. I got your, you know, I'm over your shoulder. You know, I got my arm around your shoulder. I'm helping you out more like a bro than like, oh, I'm looking to love you or something. You know.
Right.
And so we started to tailor the song that way, and it turned into Found a Way.
So the two put together a short little demo to present to Dan Schneider.
I mean, this sounds like a theme song, you know? I mean, and so we did a 1-minute little demo recording of it. And then that Monday, I had a meeting with Dan. He was working over on Amanda's What I Like About You at the time over at Warner Brothers. Mm-hmm. And I go in with this boombox, you know, and I got the CD in there. And I played, he was like very reluctant to listen to the song with me in the room, you know? He's like, I don't want to, because we were so close, we were such friends. He's like, I don't want to, I don't want to tell you it's terrible, you know? I don't want to be like, oh, no, you know, and I don't want to lie to you, and I don't want, what am I supposed to do? Tap my foot, snap my finger, can I just listen to it and then let you know later? I'm like, man, we've been working so, it's like if I came and brought you something, you know what I mean? How long have we been working together? I'd be like, dude, if you tell me you don't like it, you're going to be honest with me, and I don't care.
Dan fell in love with the track.
And so I played the song, and he literally was just like, okay, picks it up, unplugs the CD player, goes outside, and starts telling all the people he's working with, like all the writers and producers, because it was a rehearsal day. And
come here, guys.
Yeah, he's like, come here and listen to the theme song of my new show. And I'm like, shut up. Wow. And then he just looks at me, he's like, all right, well, now I just have to convince Nickelodeon, which I'm sure isn't going to be very difficult. And I'm like, well, yeah, now they don't have to pay the licensing fee to that Lenny Kravitz song. I'm sure they're going to be stoked, you know? Like, all right, and if you're into this, then I'm it. Like, come on.
There you go.
And so I got to call my buddy, and I'm like, bro, I think we just got it. And he's like, what? Like from Saturday, just an idea of like, maybe we should write a theme song, to Monday, like, yo, bro, we got the theme song to the show. And from there, because they trusted me with the music in that front, I was then able to, all the music that was on the show, I got to write.
Drake would even be responsible for composing the show's original music.
You know, I wrote all the songs on the show, all the music.
Drake would even say that he makes more money from the music of Drake and Josh than the actual money he did for acting on Drake and Josh.
I was very lucky that I was able to write all the music for the show, because that's the only thing that I was able to keep my hands on. That was the only thing I was able to keep a hold of.
You and your band can play on the show.
Awesome. When can we do it?
Right now.
I played on the Amanda Show, and he'd let me come on to all that and play my music and stuff. And he loves Beatles and Elvis and all that stuff. So we're cut from the same cloth, you know. We actually used to go to concerts together because we just love the same type of music. When I got a call from Dan, I want to talk to you about how much or how little you want to incorporate your music onto the show. You know, do we want him to be, do you want me to write him as this guitar playing, singer-songwriter, you know, guy, or do you want to keep that completely separate, work on your music outside the show, and I'll just make him, you know, like a skateboarding teen or something like that?
Drake Bell got his first guitar lessons from legendary rocker Roger Daltrey, and the idea of playing a rock star on the show was too good to pass up.
Yeah, I want to be the rock and roll guy that gets all the girls.
It would normally be his decision to do.
I'm
not
like
yours.
looking at
It's
like
crazy.
my homework as I'm talking to him. I'm like, yeah, I'll take Rockstar. I'll take Rockstar.
The show could promote his singles.
I'll no longer ignore you. Take it. Wanted to show you the way.
And composing songs for Dan's other shows.
Like for Zoe 101 and Drake and Josh, we do all the... Yes, because he writes for Zoe 101 as well. Little entrepreneur over here. We do all the score and the music for it.
So what made Drake and Josh a hit? Was it the outstanding slapstick?
Like a semitone apart.
Or the fact that the show was heavily based on classic sitcom gags? Classic sitcoms also being a Dan Schneider obsession.
You know, I love music and everything, but really my absolute obsession is classic comedy. You know,
School's gonna be rough.
Oh yeah. Idiots.
You go to his house and it looks like
I Love Lucy. Or
everything. I mean, Beverly Hillbillies, Star Trek. Like, it looks like a museum of classic television.
You know, the show was, you know, I don't want to put words in Dan's mouth, but you know, what he you know, loves television, and he loved, you know, everything from that show is derived from shows that he watched. And he never copied anything, but he always paid homage.
Hello, s'mores. Hello, pain.
I was already into, like, you know, Jackie Gleason and Buddy Hackett and George Burns and Jerry Lewis and all this, old, you know, the Marx Brothers and all that stuff.
And you think about stuff like Drake and Josh and how I was just trying to do an impression of Jackie Gleason.
My dad was really into old comedies, and we used to just sit up late at night and watch all those old black and white.
Drake and Josh plots could easily be something found in one of those sitcoms.
How did you do that? What? It's just basic geometry and physics.
Like the smart, nerdy one being secretly great at pool. Or various homages to classic cinema.
Karate is in here.
Karate Kid.
Not in here. Sometimes in here.
Karate here. Karate here. Karate never here.
Breakfast Club.
Come here.
The Three Stooges.
Ow! Get upstairs.
So what are we gonna do?
Weekend at Bernie's.
Prop her up, drag her around the premiere, and try to fool people into thinking she's awake?
The Blues Brothers. A Few Good Men.
I did it. You happy?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Star Wars.
It's a Oblongata.
Yes.
Hello, Red Sky Nuts.
And even Back to the Future. Drake and Josh must have been raised on TV land.
You give me one good reason why they should have canceled Miranda.
See, this is sort of a retro Mr. T look.
A pitted fool.
It's Mrs. Hafer on Search for the Stars, like, at Big City Records?
Yep. I think you'd be impressed with
It's
you.
Spin City, isn't it?
Spin City.
Sorry. Big City,
It's
I
a
think.
big city, though.
No, Big City, I think is Wayne's World.
And the stars of those classic sitcoms?
Please, step out of the vehicle.
They would show up on Drake and Josh.
You're Gary Coleman.
I know who I am.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was interrupting.
The crew was very self-aware of what they were making.
Ta-da! This is really it's full of poison, isn't it?
Oh, come on.
Classic comedic turn. Done it on every sitcom since the 1950s.
Parts of Drake and Josh just felt like a male version of I Love Lucy.
Sorry, Lucy. Ethel ain't playing.
While the show was a huge success for Nickelodeon, the crew would say that it never felt like they were superstars.
Back then, there was no social media. It wasn't like we got these kids young and then we're going to make them pop stars and superstars and build this huge thing. It was just kind of like, yeah, kid, like you're great. Come do your job and that's it.
We didn't have that, hey, we're on Big Bang Theory, or hey, we're on Seinfeld. Like, we're on a big successful show. We were just on this, like, Nickelodeon show that kids watch.
So while they were famous, they could still be confused for other famous teen contemporaries.
And this girl goes, Mom, that's him. So I'm going, okay, well, Drake and Josh, whatever. So she's like, excuse me, can I get your autograph? So I'm like, sure. So I go down the escalator, and I walk up to her, and she's like, oh, all I have is this $1 bill. Can you just sign this? I'm like, sure. So before I go to sign it, the mom goes, so Jesse, are you gonna be what are you doing now? Music or acting or? And I go, oh, you guys think I'm Jesse McCartney? I was like, so I didn't say anything, right? And I just said, no, I'm just working on music right now. They're like, Jesse, oh my gosh, that's so great. She has you all over her room. She loves you.
You just roll with it.
Oh, I totally roll. I signed the $1 Jesse McCartney.
And even though Drake and Josh were a big hit, they were never as big as, say, the Disney Channel's Hannah Montana.
For Choice Movie Breakout Actor and Superhero, it is the most beautiful Sophia Bush and Drake Bell.
Coming up next on Susanna, Louisiana.
Nope. Another show where the young star had a music career.
I'm tired of being number 2. Number 2 stinks.
Number 2 stinks.
Grow up!
Though Drake Bell might have been a little bit more authentic than Miley Cyrus.
So any songs that were on the show, it wasn't like a Hannah Montana situation or a Jonas Brothers situation where they were being handed songs from a songwriting, songwriting camp or something like that. These were songs that I could release on my Drake Bell album as my own material.
As I researched the show, it reminded me a lot of Saved by the Bell. One of those shows that was big at its time, but actually was much bigger when it was off the air.
We've seen this show now, like 10 years later, go on and have this life and how people really love it. And for us, it's such a trip because when we were doing it, there was no super sexy energy around it. It was just kind of like a job and a really awesome job.
So interesting,
but
dude.
We didn't realize that it would live on and that people would be like, this was my childhood.
And the Saved by the Bell connections don't end there. They share similar guest stars.
I'm off to my tryouts for American Gladiators. Levitating monkeys. Turning the moon brown.
Identical musical choices.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
I'm about to lose control, and I think he likes it.
When Drake Bell was trying to write the theme song, he listened to the Saved by the Bell song for inspiration.
I went that Saturday and we sat around my friend's piano and I had my guitar and we're just sitting there thinking, days go by and gonna wake up in the morning and...
Well, we got to keep our first name, which was dope.
Yeah,
if I had to spend the rest of my life with people, being like Screech, I'd be dude, no hate on Screech, much love, Dustin Diamond.
Though you could also make the argument that this show was a big deal.
Drew and Jerry's on. Turn it up.
The Nickelodeon series Drake and Josh.
We love these guys. Please welcome Drake Bell and Josh Peck.
If you have a tween at home, you're probably familiar with the Nickelodeon show Drake and Josh.
And here's the cast: Drake Bell, Josh Peck, and Miranda Cosgrove.
Hey, welcome back to the Teen Nick premiere party, and look what we have here. It's Drake Bell and Miranda Cosgrove.
Hey, long time no see, guys. Crazy.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Psyched to see you guys all the time.
These guys were not just famous, they were internationally famous.
Fala sério!
Tá legal. Quer saber uma coisa do Josh?
Eu vou contar um segredinho sobre o Drake.
Ele às vezes é a pessoa mais irritante do planeta.
Veio aqui pra falar com o Drake Bell.
É, o Drake Bell, do Drake Josh.
O astro teen da série Drake e Josh, um grande sucesso da TV Globinho.
Fica do lado do Drake Bell, gente. How are you?
But they were never on an episode of Dr. Phil. Or the gender swap version of Dr. Phyllis.
I'm Dr. Phyllis Tupper, and welcome to Dr. Phyllis.
With this much success, it was time to merchandise the show. You can read about their adventures or watch them on the
With
go.
Video Now Color, you can watch many of your favorite Nick shows, like Drake and Josh, anytime, anywhere.
See us, Drake and Josh, in Team Nick and Video Now Color.
Each sold separately, batteries not included. Play.
Or even play their video games.
Look out now! And there it is! Switching a handheld! Yeah, look out, Red Turtle Shell! Yeah, miss me, sucker!
But these games weren't available on your Game Sphere
It's a Game Sphere!
or your Pretendo GS.
I'm looking for my Nintendo GS.
Why would you bother to play Madden when you could help Drake at the big concert? Yeah, these boys were the OG gamers. You know, even young Drake Bell sold Pokemon. They were the perfect choice to host your event.
On the planet of Josh and Super Coolian, we celebrate New Year's on March 6th at 4 p.m., 3 p.m. Central.
Aaron A. Aronson, 323-555-0701. Hola a todos!
Hola, Drake. ¿Cómo estás?
Actually, I'm waiting for the after party to see the good girls go back.
Or to help sell you a laptop.
Although homework would be easier if I had my own laptop.
Yeah, like I'm really gonna use it for homework.
What? I totally am.
I'm totally not. In fact, I'll spend most of my time on MySpace.
Oh my god, I don't even like MySpace.
I totally like MySpace. Yeah. No, thank you.
It must be pretty exciting to be nominated for favorite TV show. How do you feel? Pretty excited. Yeah? Is your heart like...
Hold on. It is. It is. You were right.
The show would rack up nominations and wins at the Kids' Choice Awards.
Drake and Josh.
The nominees are
Favorite TV show. Drake and Josh.
And the winner is...
Drake and Josh.
Hillary Duff is hosting Team Nick, starting at 6/5 Central. She's so pretty.
Here are your nominees for favorite TV actor.
Favorite TV actor. Drake Bell.
Drake Bell.
Drake Bell also wins the Kids' Choice Award for favorite male TV star.
All right, I'm going home and playing with this in my bathtub. This is very awesome. This is like the best blimp I've ever won. Ever. Yeah, dude.
I just want to thank Josh Peck and Dan Schneider and everyone at Drake and Josh for giving me the most memorable years of my life. And yeah, this is amazing. Thank you guys so much.
We won Kids' Choice Award for favorite show three times.
Why don't you put your hands together for the stars of Drake and Josh, Drake Bell and Josh Peck.
And nobody talks about the third brother, Ice Cube.
We are here to present the award for favorite TV actress.
Let's take a look at the nominees, and then Ice Cube can crack open that fortune cookie and reveal the winner. Woo!
Wait a minute. I think I just ate the fortune cookie.
Cube, sir, what are you doing, dude? What's the haps? How are we gonna know who the winner is now? What are we gonna do?
You know what? Just roll the nominees for favorite TV actress.
So, lucky thing, I brought in my van today an X-ray machine, and you know what? Let's see it. Let's do it up, Cube.
And the winner is...
The winner is Raven Simone!
Members of the cast will still show up to Kids' Choice Awards even today.
I've been to stacks of Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards in my time, and this one has got to be the craziest ever.
And the winner is...
They even became part of an SNL sketch.
They did a Saturday Night Live spoof where Kanye is ruining all of the awards shows. And so they do a Kids' Choice Awards spoof. Oh, I can't remember which cast member played me, but it was me and another one of the cast members was dressed, because Josh wore a tuxedo this Kids' Choice Awards. And so it was them dressed like this, and Kanye, and they're like, hey, we won the Kids' Choice Awards, and Kanye runs in and steals the Kids' Choice Awards away from them. So I thought it was pretty cool that they spoofed me on SNL like that.
Drake and Josh.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell. Yo, no disrespect, fam. Like, I haven't seen your show. I don't even watch Nickelodeon. But how the hell they not gonna get a Kids' Choice Awards to Kanye West?
With all that success, it was time to make a movie. Drake and Josh Go Hollywood. which was a major departure from the normal filming of a television show.
What was the biggest difference between making your show and making your new Nick movie, Drake and Josh Go Hollywood?
The dialogue.
Nice.
Different words. Completely.
Okay.
He's got the looks, the talent, and the opportunity.
TRL. TRL, baby.
But first he's gotta get there in time.
It goes online at 5:30.
Get in!
Drake Bell, Josh Peck, in their very first movie together. Drake and Josh Go Hollywood, Friday at 8 on Nick.
This was a big deal for Nickelodeon. Leading up to the movie, they hosted marathons and even provided sneak peeks.
We also will show you guys a sneak peek at our brand new Drake and Josh Go to Hollywood.
Don't forget to check out our personal favorite Drake and Josh episodes all this week, starting at 5:30.
It all leads up to the world premiere of our movie, Drake and Josh Go Hollywood, this Friday at 8.
This January, movie history will be made by these guys.
Oh, hey fellas.
Drake and Josh Go Hollywood, coming in January, only on Nick.
At the beginning of Drake and Josh Go Hollywood, Josh is accepted into a creative writing program, but he realizes that he's never really had an adventure.
Boring so far.
The parents are set to take a vacation, and Megan is going to stay with a friend while they're gone. Drake is having band manager issues, so Josh begs to take that job.
Like, I don't know a lot about band managing, but I can learn, dude. And you know, when I put my head to something, I give it like 1,010%. No, please let me be your band manager, please. Okay.
When Drake and Josh drop Megan off at the airport, they accidentally send her on the wrong flight.
Please tell me that flight's going to Denver.
I think the pilot just made a mistake. This plane's going to Denver, right? No, we're en route to Los Angeles.
They panic, and that causes them to get arrested.
About how seriously we take airport security.
Oh, we learned, especially during the strip search,
Which was shockingly thorough.
Getting arrested is something that happens quite a few times to Drake and Josh as the show progresses.
Helen, where have you been? At the police station.
Again?
Oh, you're gonna regret this, Josh! I'm not the guy!
They certainly do enough things that would get somebody arrested. Or even killed.
So what do you guys think?
I think you're idiots.
If they catch you, they will put you in jail.
Ooh, I would not do well in jail.
So it would make sense that they'd have an episode where they are fake, steered straight. It might be a last straw when you accidentally get your parents arrested.
I'm a weatherman.
Since they sent Megan to the wrong destination, they have to go to LA to find her. Josh is seated next to one of the main bad guys who's running a counterfeit money scheme. Josh's MP3 player gets mixed up with the bad guy's MP3 player.
This isn't it. You said you had it. I did. They must have got switched on the plane.
The boys arrive at Megan's hotel, and Josh has to pee.
I gotta pee so bad, dude.
Can't you hold it?
Yeah, no, can't.
And that's where he runs into the man responsible for booking musical acts for TRL. Josh gets bold and slides his laptop, which is playing Drake's music, under a stall. Gross.
What's up, boob?
The rep is impressed, but he doesn't book unsigned acts. Josh begs for Drake to get a shot.
TRL? TRL, baby! Oh, hug me,
Drake's
brother.
pumped, and even Megan looks happy for him.
Check it out, it's a high-res graphic of a $100 bill. Why do you have diagrams of money on your geo?
I'm thinking this isn't my geo.
The bad guys have tracked Josh down, and they want their geo. After a scuffle, the boys are able to escape with the stolen device. They steal a car, which is Tony Hawk's car, as you find out later, and report the bad guys to the FBI.
We're victims of circumstance.
Guys, you're not in any trouble. You did the right thing. We're just going to need you to come back to headquarters with us to help us identify the guys who assaulted you.
Big one.
But they're not the FBI. They throw the boys into a cage, and Megan wonders where her brothers have disappeared off to. The bad guys are able to print off their counterfeit money.
Look at that.
It's a money machine.
The bad guys then notice that Drake and Josh escaped. Megan wakes up the next day and realizes her brothers never came back, so she goes to check out an address that was left behind. Drake and Josh try to escape again, but fail. Megan finds the building where all the counterfeiting is taking place and calls the LAPD. The call is on a bad connection, so Megan just sneaks in.
What are you gonna do with us?
Let's just say, I hope you boys are very good swimmers.
She causes a scene which allows her brothers to escape. The police have traced the call's location, and we now have a big old brawl. This leaves Drake with very little time to get to his TRL performance.
That Drake Parker's band?
Yeah.
So where's Drake?
So with help from the cops, he gets a police escort to the TRL studio.
All right, coming up a little later here on TRL, we got a live performance from Hollywood by a brand new artist named Drake Parker,
where he performs his song, Hollywood Girl. He's told that the next time they're in New York, Alan Krem of Spin City Records would meet with him about a potential record deal.
If you can arrange a trip to New York, I can hook you up with Alan Krim.
at Spin City Records?
Yep. I think he'd be impressed with you.
At this point, the musical career of Drake Parker and the musical career of Drake Bell would start blending together. It wasn't just TRL in the movie featuring Drake Parker. TRL in real life was going to get Drake Bell.
TRL, please, a big welcome for our first guest, Drake Bell.
TRL, please show some love to Drake Bell. Drake is getting ready to release his second album. The video for I Know is about to make its big debut on TRL, so we thought we'd get to know Drake a bit better. Take a look.
You're a star, silly girl. Only I can fool the world, it's plain to see.
Some would say that it's better to get your break on TRL than on Canadian Idol.
Actually, I invited him over for dinner and to watch Canadian Idol with us. Is that cool?
This was a dream come true for Drake Bell, who had been playing music since he was a little
I started playing
kid.
guitar just 3 years ago, and I loved it right away. The first song I could play was this one here.
If there's a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while I treat every balls and eyes,
He had been, and still is, creating original music that you can listen to.
And they're performing from the new CD. I Know. Here's Drake Bell.
Ugh, Regis Philbin? Yeah, maybe I'll bring Kelly.
all alone, guess again. And I know it's always better when you're gone.
His album, It's About Time, was heavily influenced by his love of classic rock.
I gotta tell you that you, to me, and we were saying it over there, you sound like John Lennon when you sing.
The Beatles Abbey Road album signed by all 4 Beatles. Dude, I love this album more than I love myself. Dude. Okay, but I love this album a lot.
And my new record's called album is called It's Only Time. It comes out December 5th. And, it's very Beatles influenced and Queen and the Beach Boys. And it's, very upbeat and positive, and it's really musical. It's really dense musically. So the single sounds like it could have been on Rubber Soul, and I was like, wow, really don't tell me that.
And during the writing of the album, Drake was recovering from a serious car accident.
Once I started getting better, it started just inspiring more positive songs. And you're gonna make it through, and stop and smell the flowers, because it can all just be taken away like that. So.
The album was a success in the United States, but a massive hit over in Mexico.
I had a big record out there a couple years ago, and the songs were really, really #1 and all this stuff, and all over Mexico and Latin America, and so it was crazy. We went down there, and we were playing, 1,000. If we played 5,000 seats here in the States, it was oh man, that was an amazing show. Oh my God. And so we went to Mexico for the first time thinking, cool, we're going to start building this fan base, and we'll go to play these little clubs, and it'll start to grow, and we'll start to, build this market. And we landed, and we got off the airplane, and it looked like the Beatles at JFK. I mean, it was like there were fans, just thousands of people, and security, and all this stuff. And then we get whisked away, and we're being treated. I mean, it was like we were Elvis or Justin Bieber. Like,
So
it was
was
like going and meeting the president, and going and having dinner with these dignitaries and these other massively famous people. We go to these dinners, and I'm like, these people, I mean, like the Julia Roberts of Mexico, and these huge stars, and I'm like, we're not. But down there, they just viewed us as, I get, because the record was so big. I mean, it was just weird.
But so they didn't have a relationship with the show or any of your prior work?
They did have a relationship with the show, but it wasn't, it intensified it. It was like, imagine if while I was on Drake and Josh, I had a massively successful album here, and was doing like a Justin Bieber thing or something like that,
Drake would even release a DVD that showcases how big these crowds were.
We just finished cutting a live DVD that's going to be released December 16th. Drake Bell live in concert.
Tell us a little bit about it.
We went out to Mexico and played a bunch of shows there. The audiences were insane, 15 to 20,000 people. And the record was doing really great out there. Oh, there it is. The album was doing really well. Our songs were tracking really well out there. And when we got there, it was like the Beatles had arrived or something.
Drake would continue to expand his musical palette.
Too bad, so sad. Hope I didn't make you mad. And I know, it's always better when you know. And I know. Oh, please, 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 don't go and give me those eyes. If I'm too much to carry.
Even making a rockabilly CD. Working alongside the famous Brian Setzer.
Oh, I love this song.
Current day Drake Bell even records Latin style music. Though nowadays the joke is that the most famous Drake playing music isn't Drake Bell.
And I was at the mall in Mississippi, and they had this spray painting shirt where they spray paint like the shirts. The t-shirts.
Yeah,
and I got a big neon one that said "Not the Rapper" on it. And so when I was playing on the national TV, just big on these screens, it was like "Not the Rapper."
It's the guy who does Hotline Bling. Well, that's just confusing. I wonder if Drake Parker was easy to deal with.
Pretty tight. Yep. No, we were not tight, all right? That was loose.
Was he a Brian Wilson-style perfectionist?
If you open up your mind.
Because his band members are constantly changing throughout the series. It's no wonder that Helen doesn't bother to learn the rest of the band's name.
Rockstar Drake Parker and his band, whose names I do not know.
Who's Helen? Well, Helen is the manager of the Premier Theater. Much of the show takes place at the Premier Theater.
This is where Josh works. This is supposed to be like the rotating corn dog machine, but there's not really much going on for it.
Whenever we cut to the Premier Theater, the marquee often features in-joke titles. And what does the Premier Theater have?
Like whizzes, and they have to change the name for the episode. These are like, people talk about these in all the episodes, Flutternutters. And they're like Drake and Josh candy.
According to this behind-the-scenes video, a lot of stale food.
Gross. Was it good? Like this.
As the mother on the show, I declare this not food.
Vet Nicole Brown. I've known this woman for over 15 years. 15 years.
Wasn't Drake and Josh 2004?
Yeah.
It's 15 years of friendship.
Oh my gosh.
I've known you half your life.
Wow.
A lot of people can't say that. I've known
half of your life.
And half of... Sweet boy. You sweet, sweet boy.
She's incredibly talented. I remember when she came on the set of Drake and Josh, and within like one day of working together, we all looked at each other and said, well, this person needs to be on as many episodes as possible immediately.
You know, it was weird for me because it's one of the first things I ever did.
Yes.
I grew up watching Nickelodeon, the early Nickelodeon, like you can't do that on television and all of that. And
classic.
Being on Nickelodeon was actually one of my childhood dreams when I was a kid too. Like I wanted to be on Nickelodeon, and so I was actually about to be on Nickelodeon. It was weird when I came on the set and it was very clear that the kids were the stars. So I'm used to, up to that point, I was used to adults being the stars and the kids being, you know, but on that show, even on the set, like there was like ice cream and cookies and, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it looked like I walked into a cartoon, you know?
Helen was Josh's boss, played by Yvette Nicole Brown, and she was almost one and done in the role of Helen.
Helen, looking prettier than ever.
Oh, he beast.
She would answer why Frances Collier played Helen in the episode Little Diva.
Me and give this cute boy some free candy.
She was on a TV show for ABC called The Big House.
No, I just wanted her to see my true essence, you know, who I really am.
Oh, she saw. So did we.
And they didn't think she'd be available to play Helen again. So she was recasted, instead of making Frances play like Helen's sister or cousin.
Any role I do, it's some type of mixture of Marla Gibbs.
Say, you know, we don't get too many gorillas in here. And he said, at $9.85 a drink, I won't be back either.
Felicia Rashad.
We learned that misery does not love company.
Or B. Arthur.
Do the Urkel. Do the Urkel.
Helen's full name was
Helen Ophelia Dubois,
with a brother Andy and grandmother Lula, and she is not afraid to throw down.
Who them friends get out of my movie theater before I pop you like a zit?
She also has money coming in from her early acting days.
I still get money from Happy Times.
An obvious spoof of the 70s TV show, Good Times.
Yes, I was Little Georgia. As a child, I starred in the television program Happy Times.
Oh my God! You were the little girl who always said, "That is not my job."
She's shown to be a workaholic and would even come into work post-surgery. Helen would marry Buzz Baxter in the series finale, Really Big Shrimp. But it's later revealed in Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh that marriage only lasted 5 weeks.
You just got married.
Yeah, the first 2 weeks were delightful. Week 3 was unpleasant. Week 4 was downright irritating. By week 5, I was out the door. See you, good riddance, no more Helen for you.
On the TV show Victorious, it's revealed that Helen left San Diego and took a job here as principal.
And most recently, I was a senior manager at the Premier Movie Theater in San Diego.
That's Helen doing in that world. Well, I got a call from Dan Schneider saying, would you come do an episode of Victorious? And I said, yes. I have been on Drake and Josh. I did an uncredited cameo on iCarly. I did Game Shakers, and then I did Victorious.
Then on the TV show Game Shakers, she would appear as Helen and host her own talk show.
Want me to sit on your lap?
No, that's okay.
You know, I'll do it.
I know you will.
All of this is an example of the Schneiderverse in action.
Oh my God, you're Drake Bell.
What's up?
Nicole!
I'll be at the Parker Nichols Hotel, 2 blocks over.
Ik galakma. Peruvian puff pepper.
Tell me the Peruvian puff peppers.
Right here, right.
The camera flash just stunned him. How come that little girl's so good at pranks? You think I purposely got the Peruvian puff peppers, knowing you'd still seen it?
Josh got his job when he made Crazy Steve quit. Helen was pleased that she was able to get rid of Crazy Steve and offered Josh a job.
Crazy Steve quit? You hired a guy named Crazy Steve? Congratulations, you're hired.
Looking to get some extra money himself, Drake also gets a job at the premiere. Helen takes an immediate liking to Drake, and not at all with Josh.
When things go awry, I just always blame Josh. It's usually him.
How would you like to be promoted to assistant manager? Huh?
When Drake makes a huge work mistake, Helen has to let him go. But her affection for Drake runs real deep.
I love you like the son I never wanted. Hey, I heard your song on the commercial. It was hot, much like yourself.
Thanks, Helen.
She lets Drake get away with murder.
You set up an orangutan business here without asking me?
Actually, it was my idea.
Oh, well, that's fine then.
She'll always come to Drake's defense.
You better put that boy down.
Eventually, she warms up to Josh.
You Want to borrow my ointment?
But, you know, she has to be drugged up to be nice to him. It was a very complicated relationship.
Have you ever had a crush on someone you worked with? Yes. Josh. Yes, Helen, the manager of the premiere.
I'm off to the gym to play me a little racquetball with Helen.
Your boss?
Yeah, we've been getting along a lot better lately.
And much different than the one that was shared between Yvette and Josh in real life.
When your mother wasn't around, you were my baby. Like
Right.
you guys, I love me some Josh Peck. And that was so funny. Like on the show, I was like, Helen hated Josh, but Yvette loves Josh. And so it was my little pumpkin.
Also working at that movie theater was Crazy Steve, played by Jerry Trainer. He wasn't the first casting choice for Crazy Steve.
They had already cast a Crazy Steve, and I guess he wasn't crazy enough on set. When he went in, it wasn't as crazy as they wanted.
In fact, Jerry almost passed on the role completely.
I almost didn't go to Crazy Steve, which led to everything.
You mean from Drake and Josh? Let's talk about that for a second.
Well, I almost didn't go. I went the first time, and then the second time, I was like, really? They just want me to do that thing again?
But he did end up taking a callback audition.
They were like, can you go bigger? And I was like, yeah. And I went bigger. And it was, I basically start out quiet, and then I'm screaming. That's the joke. It's like, I'm kind of a normal. He thinks I'm normal, and then I freak out.
Sure! You... Thanks for nothing!
Crazy Steve's personality was heavily based on yelling.
They were just like, go bigger. I was like, okay, did it bigger. They're like, can you go bigger? I was like, yes, I can go bigger. Like, I have been 3 years of theater school bringing me down, like knocking the bigness out of me. I was like, yes, I can go bigger. They're like, can you go bigger? I was like, well, let's talk for a second. Do you want to just like let this go off the rails? Because I'll do that. I'll give you the nuclear. She goes, give me the nuclear.
She's a wood chipper, and her name is Sally. She totally pulverizes anything I put in her. Anything.
And I went nuclear nuts in the room, and I got the part. And then the rest is history.
Or has that come out of Jerry Trainer's personality?
That came from what I used to do a show, Drake and Josh, before iCarly, and I was a crazy. All right. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah,
see?
they like screaming.
Yeah.
It's really worked out for me.
So on that show, you do some.
I was a crazy person that screamed all the time. I was quiet, and then I would scream, and then I was Spencer, and I would scream even more, and so now I just kind of fallen into this screaming path.
Jerry even took creative control of his character and gave himself a psycho buzz cut.
And I know that Dan, the creator of the show, didn't tell Steve to do this, or I'm sorry, Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry gave himself the psycho buzz cut before this.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Little is known about Crazy Steve's background, other than the little things that they let slip out.
This is for sending me to fat camp. I was trapped in a refrigerator
And has no criminal record.
Dang it!
Well, I also struggle with an anger problem.
I take special vitamins.
He's shown to be an extremely hard worker.
I spent 5 hours on the phone tracking it down and talking Helen into letting me screen it for you, so.
What is the problem?
But not somebody who should be working with the public.
I'm talking to people!
In fact, even at her new job, Helen couldn't stop talking about Crazy Steve.
I thought Crazy Steve was crazy.
Other workers at the premiere include Gavin Drew Mitchell, as played by Jake Farrow. He's not the hardest worker in the world.
Toilet number 3 in the men's restroom?
Nah.
And he's known for his odd style of hair. The Schneiderverse would show Gavin being in the crowd during an iCarly episode.
How are you boys?
I start a fan war.
So can I keep it or?
I think he was killed off. Also working at the theater is Leia, played by Kathy Shim. She's one of Josh's friends.
That's Crazy Steve's enchilada.
Josh's other friends would include Eric Blonovitz, played by Scott Halberstadt, and Craig Ramirez, played by Alex Medlock, introduced in the episode Pool Shark. They're often portrayed as if they were a couple.
No, I am tired of you.
It had all of our vacation photos on it.
From Niagara Falls? If you're gonna leave, then leave.
You promised you wouldn't do this.
Though in other episodes, they're just guys who can't get girls.
Do you two want to spend your Saturday nights playing with model rockets, or would you rather be on a date with 2 hot girls?
Hot girls?
Twins.
Twins?
Or at least Eric was written to be the one that pursued girls.
What? I love you.
Eric? Eric?
I kind of think that Drake was able to detect that Craig wanted something out of this relationship that Eric didn't.
Women are crazy.
That's why me and Craig don't have girlfriends.
You know, I think there's a lot of reasons why you guys don't have girlfriends.
Drake Parker is shown to constantly take advantage of their
You guys
friendship.
my friends or not?
I don't know. Are we?
So it's hard to feel too bad when the tables were turned on him.
I like Drake, but he had it coming.
At the time, when Drake and Josh was airing, you could also see Scott Halberstadt playing a similar character in a series of cell phone commercials.
Choose the size of your circle.
Chad, you've left us with no choice.
Drake and Josh may have been the last of the Nickelodeon shows to have this kind of edge to them.
There's definitely jokes that we could get away with back in the day when I was on Nickelodeon that you really can't get away with nowadays.
Don't do it, Drake!
Disney would never do that.
Nickelodeon was a little bit more of the bad boy.
So you like the mustache because it helps you meet strange men?
Some jokes were your average toilet humor.
The toilet, don't soil it. Oh! I'm putting my hand in there, that's where Mrs. Hafer pees.
Or words that sounded naughty, but weren't.
Ducker!
What was the name of that frigate? Frigate.
But then you had your straight-up sex jokes.
Are those real? Stop that! I'm sorry about my nakedness. Girls are just guys without... Just do good.
You must take time to appreciate your ingredients as if they were a fine woman.
Sorry, man.
I don't know. I'm surprised we got with a lot of the stuff that we got away with on the show because we were a kids show, you know.
I must take shower.
Okay, I'll go show you how to shower works.
No, you won't.
Not now. She's about to put her whole fist in her mouth.
Ah, that would be some trick.
Those dumb boobs.
Oh yeah, Josh likey.
Like sexual exploration.
You do not film a person when he's in the bathtub and whatnot.
What's wrong with mybody.com? What's wrong with mybody.com?
I have it bookmarked.
Or just the act of sex itself.
Remember that show on the Animal Channel where the female giraffe liked the male giraffe, so she started to...
We understand, we understand.
Wanna watch the Animal Channel?
Where's the remote?
I'm not sure I want to think about you dating a dozen musical men.
Then I won't tell you about last Saturday night. It's a good thing I got this new hip.
Uh-oh. Am I gonna see you in a commercial for Grammy's Gone Wild?
You shouldn't do... Because I want your dad. I was considering a few other men and one woman.
Or that the brothers might be a little too close.
Never put your finger in me.
This way. Oh, don't touch me there. And super glue our butts together. Do you mean like your butt to my butt or our individual butts? Doesn't matter.
Nowadays, this might not be how kids' television is written.
If I was here working on this show 5 years ago, 6 years ago, or the jokes would be a little older. It wouldn't be skewing so young. And I was thinking to myself, why is it so young? Why this should be a teenage show? You know, kids that right before they're driving should be watching this show.
That's what Drake and Josh
And then exactly.
You might not have suicidal coaches on the TV anymore.
I got nothing else to live for. Nothing.
Or jokes about grandma's thong collection.
You can organize my thongs by color.
Or sneaking into a nightclub.
It's not like we're gonna drink or anything. We're just gonna go and listen to some music.
And some of the jokes that they got away with back then would definitely not fly.
She's making a prom dress for Taylor, the Andersons' daughter.
I thought Taylor was a boy.
Nope.
Is my dress ready yet?
I won a contest!
Congratulations, man.
The kids were lucky to have grown up at a time before the internet really started to pry into the teen stars.
I'm Joseph. Not even Drake Bell.
Oh, no.
Even during that time period, they did child star rebel.
And I think I've been lucky where I definitely had my like moments of being a total cliche child actor, sowing my wild oats, being an idiot at the club. But it was before camera phones, or like they were like
that's
the
so
shitty
true.
Nokia ones.
Yeah.
And so
Lucky you.
like, and it was 18, 19, you know, just being a knucklehead. And then I cleaned it up quick enough because my mom wasn't having it. And it was just like, I got to spread my wings. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
And so that was it. But
Did you cut it off then?
yeah, I mean, I just
Really?
I was lucky enough to sort of get hip to the fact that like it's not sustainable, and I would hate to diminish all the things that I've worked so hard for by being like that guy on TMZ.
You don't want to be
who's some
Johnny
hot
Depp, is what
mess.
you're saying.
When Josh and I were on Nickelodeon, we didn't have Instagram, we didn't have Twitter. We couldn't send something directly to our fans and say, "Hey guys, what's up? What do you think of this? What is that?"
I think you can guess.
You may remember that Drake was the recipient of the famous Vanessa Hudgens nude leaks.
Let me know if you need more help.
But sometimes the rumors of Drake's love life were a lot more innocent.
That a German tabloid put out that I was dating Britney Spears.
Yeah.
And yeah, really. And it was between me and Howie Day. And so there was this big spread and blog about how I'm dating Britney and everything like that. So I kind of went on there. Yeah, it's totally true. Keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, he was successful in that department from a young age. I was always like envious of his skills.
But
in that
did
way.
you still kind of...
And like Drake would do that move. Drake would have that move, and God bless him, because I would do it too when we were like 16 and we would be sitting and maybe like talking to some girls or whatever, where like all of a sudden a guitar would appear and he'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what? Sorry." Oh, boom, boom, like gravity. And I'd be like, "What the f?" Oh,
Sounded good.
A lot of chicks when you were a celebrity, Drake and Josh.
No, I wasn't exactly a chick magnet. I've always been a bro magnet. My fans look like this.
The brothers started to enjoy their level of fame, and Josh says that he may have indulged just a little bit too much.
Not for me, for
Yeah,
sure. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, the depravity, when you walk into those things and you just see kind of, and for me, right, at 18 years old, when I started
Yeah.
seeing these things go on and just growing up in the
Yeah.
business in LA.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
I mean, I think for certain people that are healthy,
Well,
I think there's,
prudish.
I mean, certain people walk into those things and go, "Oh, I want no part of this."
Right.
And I just remember walking in and thinking, "Oh, I've seen movies like this."
Yeah, so did it feel familiar, or did it feel like...
It felt odd. It felt foreign.
Were you scared at all? Did anything about it go, ooh?
The first time I did any sort of anything that would hurt my mom's feelings was over a girl. So it's very Shakespearean. I just wanted to impress
Wanted
and
to
be
be
a
cool.
part of. And so I didn't think twice. And then I also had sort of the impunity of being young
Yeah.
and fearless.
And it was before social media too, praise God.
Before social media, thank God. So, and I always say that too, because people will be nice enough to say to me like, "Wow, like you were a kid actor and you didn't completely lose your mind."
you're
And I'm
like-
like, "Don't ask Yvette for a quote." I was
Well-
because she was on set and saw it.
And I'm the last person to notice that somebody has gone to the dark side. Like, I just don't
Right.
even, it doesn't register because you were my little pumpkin. So I don't even remember the first time you said something to me that hurt my feelings or something where I was just like, well, where'd my baby go? Where's
Oh,
my baby?
no.
Where's my baby?
Oh, it's all flooding back to me now. Oh, Jesus.
You know, but this is the thing. These are the growing pains. This is what happens in this business. The beautiful thing is that you came out of it.
Yes.
And you are the man that you are now. And maybe had you not experienced some of that stuff, you wouldn't be the man you are now. You
Right.
might have fallen into something even worse later on. You know what I mean?
I think so, for sure. And, you know, if you look at and God knows I've unpacked this in therapy over time, but look, I've always had an affinity for overindulging in things.
Ya binge, ya booze.
But neither one of them were messing around with any of their co-stars.
Have you really dated Josh in real life, or is this all show?
It's all show. Josh is a perfect gentleman. But look, let's face it, he's so hot. He's so pretty. No, but we have not dated. It's completely professional.
Did you ever date Miranda Cosgrove?
Bro, come on, dude. Listen,
That's a dumb
be honest. That's like
question.
asking John Stamos if he ever dated like Michelle.
And Josh would have to deal with the celebrity hoax where you pretend a celebrity died.
What? What'd you hear?
That you died.
I'm dead.
Yeah, what happened? Like, you're back to life.
Now you're interviewing a ghost, bro.
People will believe anything.
People have been thinking I've been dead for a minute now.
Yeah.
I let them think what they gotta think.
Hey.
Many South American countries don't think I'm alive.
Drake Bell would also have a notable back-and-forth feud with Justin Bieber. Drake having a strong belief that Justin Bieber lacked musical talent, was immature, and had a toxic fan base. Justin would respond that he's far bigger of a star than Drake Bell.
Your hair, Justin Bieber hair. Justin Bieber hair.
No, he stole it from me. I had it first.
Great, now you got us kicked out. Just like the Teen Choice Awards. Oh, that was your fault. You're the one who had to touch Justin Bieber's hair.
But that feud too ended a long time ago, with Drake trying to make amends on his side.
We've run into each other a couple times, yeah.
What happens?
He doesn't like to talk to me. He just
Weird.
he doesn't like to talk to me. He did say, "You're looking real good with that James Dean hairdo."
Josh would admit to struggling with an addictive personality. His first major addiction was food.
And at a young age, it was what was easily available, which was food and sugar. And
Right.
And then I lost all this weight and I got in shape, but I had the same mind.
Right.
Best part about being a kid? That's tough. Probably being able to eat whatever I wanted. And sure, I paid for it in the long run, but while I was doing it, it was great.
Let's be honest, I was not chubby. I was very overweight. Having them on reruns on television, your awkward teenage years forever, was tough.
That is not me. That is a stunt double who had to wear a fat suit.
So I actually hid under my bed. I got stuck.
And I didn't have any sort of spirituality or 12-step or what have you to counteract it.
Right.
So all of a sudden, smoking and drinking and living that life seemed appealing. And I also romanticized people like Hunter S. Thompson and Basquiat and Hendrix and all these like bad boys.
Right.
And the reality was like I was a kid from Burbank.
Right.
Like I'm Josh from Drake and Josh.
Right.
I'm not tough.
Right.
What? And so I lived that out for 3 years. And then thankfully at a young age, at 21, I woke up to the fact that it just wasn't working for me any longer. And I've been sober since then. And and then I remember I got healthy and I, like from 17 to 19, I lost like 100 pounds.
Good for you, man. That's awesome.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
But it's, you know, it's a transition. And even now at 32, there are times when I look in the mirror and I'm like, who do you think you are?
So I get to watch my awkward years on rerun on Teen Nick.
I just can't stop staring at his pimple.
So while making the show, Josh was constantly battling his weight. So as the show went on, Josh started working out more.
This was the fun times where I was losing weight but hadn't completely lost weight yet.
Totally.
And I was just wearing clothes that were not flattering. I remember like wearing LeBron sneakers there and thinking like, these will make me look athletic. LeBron James, you are one talented man, but you cannot make me look slick.
Yeah, that's enough exercise. They're right behind us. This is no time for wheezing. Like I enjoy wheezing.
I'll be like, yeah, you do look aight. And then I'll be like, you're just 17-year-old Josh. He's like, no, ordering chicken nuggets with his Big Mac.
No, but he was dope. He was dope. We all fell in love with that Josh.
Totally.
Watching what he ate.
I'm glad that I was able to do it and like hopefully inspire some people. And like, it's all good. But it was my awkward teenage years that just so happened that they were chronicled on television forever.
And Josh kept sticking with this fitness routine.
You too skinny. No, chunky Josh, he'd have made a fine Santa Claus. But now that you went and defatified yourself, I don't think so.
He became sort of a young adult heartthrob.
It's not perfect.
It's a good picture.
But
it's a good picture.
I've got him.
You look like that now. Just have a beard. There's my baby though. That's my little sweet baby right there. That's my pumpkin. It's my pumpkin over there on the right.
Pumpkin pie.
Yeah, it's okay. It's my little baby.
That even made Drake competitively jealous.
Dude, I kept seeing all your damn beach photos. TMZ going on the beach looking all cut. I was like, this sucks. I'm supposed to be the hot one. Yeah, right. I wish I could go back to chubby Josh at 13
Is this for me or a sport utility vehicle?
and be like, homie, puberty is gonna do us well.
And as a direct result, it's attracted all these wonderful things into my life. And like, I think about, you know, I met my wife at 24, which is really wild. But I think that, you know, she's a good girl with a normal family system and healthy boundaries. And and I'm sure that there's nothing about me that would have attracted her had I still been.
You stayed in that life, right?
Drake's personality was starting to rub off on Josh. Josh started to suddenly get into more trouble.
Oh, please leave me out of this. It seems so wrong. You want to get grounded, but it feels so right.
Get himself suckered into Drake's hijinks.
He's got an idea.
And covering for each other.
I said, shaving my butt.
Josh became girl crazy.
Consider us even.
There might be a slap fight.
If we're lucky.
We'll drop at the cheerleaders. I am sorry about the time I watched that pretty lady's laundry spin in the dryer at the laundromat.
Even scouting girls for himself. And as the series progressed, Drake took notice that Josh wasn't that same geeky kid that he first knew.
I'm not the same little goofy kid that moved in with you 3 years ago. I get to go on a double date with you and two hot twins?
No, but I thought maybe you could bring us some drinks and snacks and stuff. I'm kidding. Yes, I want you to double date with me. Are you in?
Yeah, man.
This was a guy that he would definitely go on a double date with. Drake would even realize that his life would be much worse if Josh wasn't a part of it.
Without me, Josh's life would totally fall apart.
Well, not so sure.
A far cry from earlier episodes where Drake was only hanging with Josh out of pity.
I thought you wanted to hang out with me to have fun, not make a profit. Profits are fun.
And by season 4, Josh became much more assertive.
Give him a present!
And wasn't afraid to stand up for himself.
Oh, and you know what else?
If you make fun of me one more time, I'm gonna tell everyone we know that you named your favorite pillow Mr. Puff Puff.
I'm sorry if I offended you.
The brothers would form a tight bond, leading to the famous bit from the show, Hug Me, Brother.
Hug me, brother! Hug me, brother!
Quick one.
The show would spawn quite a few memes that you may recognize today. And you can't look back at Drake and Josh without talking about Josh's love of Oprah.
My biggest crush is Keira Knightley. Wrong, Oprah. What? Oh, all right, Drake. Drake.
When I was her age, I had a crush on Oprah.
Oprah?
She's an inspiration.
Oh, Oprah. Oprah can do anything!
The foot on Jupiter!
If only things had gone better for Josh when he was set to actually meet Oprah.
You know, you remind me of my stepbrother.
Oh, but is he awesome?
No, he's in jail for stalking Oprah.
And the real Josh Peck also hasn't met Oprah.
Yep. And then make sure to tune in next week where I surprise Josh with Oprah.
Seriously?
No.
Then don't joke about it.
Yeah, my bad.
Oprah doesn't get ghosts.
Have you ever spoken to Oprah?
No.
Why?
No, because life isn't fair. Yeah, I've been working on that for years, and I'm like, are you really trying to get, like, surprise me with Oprah? He's like, of course. Wow. He's like, I'm using all my channels.
He's not even sure if she's aware of Drake and Josh.
I mean, we've talked about her a lot on the show, so I imagine. I was just watching with, like, Gail. She's like, that's hilarious.
The only character Josh loves more than Oprah is Mindy Crenshaw. Mindy comes from a wealthy family.
Your dad's #1 distributor of salmon on the West Coast. You're just swimming in salmon money.
Before Mindy, Josh was always very awkward around girls.
And I'm rather smooth as chunky peanut butter. Girl? Where? I know they're here. I know she's here and you're playing monkey.
But around season 2, they started toying with adding more love interests.
What do we look forward to in season 2? Well, there's a lot more romance, that's for sure. Ooh, Drake. Ooh, Josh. Ooh,
kissing
romance.
Wow. You're blushing, dude. You're blushing. You're blushing.
So Josh started to have more girls around, but none of them would match his standards.
The teen model who loves magic and video games. That is the ultimate in female.
Mindy was first introduced as Josh's academic better.
I first auditioned for Drake and Josh when I was 13, and it was like this little mini lawyer on the high school honor council. And so being an honor student and a dork, I just kind of fell right into that. Like, all right, debate team, go. So it was great. It was the best audition ever.
There are many similarities between myself and Mindy. I'm very serious about my academics and I'm very driven like Mindy, but I'd like to think I'm not as extreme as Mindy is.
That was the best we ever had.
Yes. Mindy is a genius. There's no being modest about that. Mindy is more of a genius than I could ever hope to be. But Mindy is Josh's longtime main squeeze.
She would also represent Miss Hafer in trying to get Drake suspended.
That's right, Josh. Looks like you're gonna lose again.
When it was revealed that Mindy set Drake up as a way to get revenge on Miss Hafer, she had to be taken to a mental institution.
I'm perfect, better than all of you. Yeah, that's because every year I lose to Mindy Crenshaw, but she's still in that mental institution.
She would return and come back looking to be Josh's science partner.
And then we would have to, but I don't think we should, but then we should.
And while this looked like revenge,
So if I harass him at school and you harass him at home, we stay out of each other's way and Josh is miserable almost all the time. Maybe I just...
she actually liked Josh.
Maybe I just like you.
And he liked her.
Maybe I've liked you for a really long time, but didn't realize it because I hated you so much. I get to be the boyfriend.
So they started to date. But Josh was too afraid to let Drake know that they were dating.
I'm just afraid of how Drake's gonna take it because he doesn't exactly like you.
At first, Josh lied to Mindy that he let Drake know about
I
them.
didn't tell Drake we were dating, all right? I'm sorry, but I couldn't. I'm afraid of what he'll think.
It seemed like Drake would slip out.
There. Mindy and I are dating.
You should date whoever you want to date. You know, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
But he was just happy that Josh got a girlfriend.
So I don't like her. Big deal.
So Drake helps the two make up.
Oh, just kiss me.
The actress playing Mindy revealed that this was actually her very first kiss on screen.
Do you know you were her first kiss? And it was on camera for Drake and Josh?
I did know that.
That is so interesting.
Weird, right?
Wow. That's what I mean by Nickelodeon machine. It's almost like her first kiss was an on-camera kiss with you.
Trippy. I know. I'm sorry, Allison. I hope it was okay.
And Josh would admit kissing Allison made him quite nervous.
She's so smart, Allison.
Yes, she is.
And talented.
Yeah.
And much younger than me.
Well, is she?
Like 30 years, which when we were shooting...
That's a lot then. That's a lot. That's a lot.
'Cause
now not. No, but yeah, that's a lot back then.
And I remember being even then, and I was like 17, she was 14 or 15.
Well, she's so mature, you never would have known that there was a difference in age.
Almost too mature.
Yeah, she's so mature.
I was intimidated.
Weren't you? Did you ever tell her? You're telling her now. You were
Sorry,
you didn't think that you could hang with her because she was so talented?
I felt stupid.
Did you? She made you feel stupid. Let's talk about it.
I made me feel stupid.
Okay. You did.
So Josh and Mindy start dating and have a double date with Mindy's parents and her brother Alden.
Alden, why don't you offer Josh some chicken?
There is a slight hiccup in their relationship when they have to recompete against each other in a science
Mindy
fair.
is now Josh's girlfriend. And in this episode, we're head-to-head at the science fair once again, but some interesting little twists come up, which leads Josh to believe that I'm tricking him again.
When Mindy says she loves Josh,
love you.
he freaks out.
Seeing chemistry.
And they realize that maybe they need more experience dating other people. So they break up. Josh freaks out when he thinks that Mindy's moved on to dating a real Chad.
Chad?
Oh, so his name's Chad. Oh, that's perfect. Hey, Chad.
But it's just Mindy's cousin.
Yeah.
Still broken up, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
Miss Hafer was played by Julia Duffy, and she is one of Drake and Josh's teachers. She's got a daughter, Kelly, and a husband, Gerald, who we see in the episode Little Sibling. And she hates Drake.
I hate you.
I know.
She hates him so much that she'd risk her own career trying to attack him. The Miss Hafer character was designed to be the anti-Helen.
And guess what else?
What?
I hate you.
I know. I think what it was, I mean, from the outside, like from the creative point of view of where it came from, was I think that we needed an anti-Helen.
Because she loved you and hated Josh.
Helen loves me and hates Josh, and Mrs. Hafer, loves Josh because he's such a good student, but just can't stand Drake. So I think that when a few episodes of Helen went by, they were like, oh, we need like an anti-Helen. We need someone who like hates Drake, because everybody loves Drake. So we got to get someone that just like despises him. And she was one of my favorites. Like I loved just like those stupid like. Still hate you, it's like, I know.
She even takes special joy in failing Drake.
You know what this means, Drake?
An F?
Oh, that is one question you always get right.
So that's why Drake hates her right back.
You are not gonna believe this.
Mrs. Hafer died?
No.
Drake even dated her daughter, but he wanted to break up because of her annoying laugh. It's a mutual hatred.
You're the boy who's been dating my daughter?
You're Kelly's mom?
I'm going to be sick.
Oh, right there with you.
But you kind of can't blame Miss Hafer for hating Drake and thinking that Drake was the one responsible for putting her car in the classroom. He does joke that he did something to her car at least one time before.
How do you think I got the squirrels in Mrs. Hafer's car?
While taping the 4th season, Drake Bell would be involved in a major car accident.
Bell was stopped at a red light while driving a friend around Los Angeles on the Pacific Coast Highway.
Oncoming truck.
He was hit head-on by a driver and suffered a cracked skull, lacerations, and a broken neck, but it was not considered life-threatening.
Man, that hurts.
But had a very severe accident last year on, what, New Year's Eve?
Yeah, it was a couple days before New Year's, the 29th of December.
The car just came up?
Yeah, I was just sitting in the left-hand turn lane, ready to make a left turn at a red light, and this guy ran the light and head-on collision right into me.
The injuries were extensive.
Yeah, I broke my jaw in 3 places, knocked out 6 teeth, broke my neck, and there's this huge lacerated thing went all the way through my face. It was like a second mouth. It was really bad. Yeah.
Long time recovery, huh?
Yeah, 3 months. Yeah, 3 months wired shut and all liquid diet and
all of those things. Yeah.
Now, Drake had an accident 1 year ago.
Yeah.
A bad car wreck.
Actually, this time last year, I was sitting with my jaw wired shut on an all-liquid diet watching TV, so it's great to be actually moving around again and in this, you know, getting to experience all this. I never thought I would.
You got a resolution that helped you?
You know, just not really, just live well and keep everything good, really, you know?
And this would throw the show into major jeopardy, as it would interrupt filming season 4.
Yeah, we started in 2004, January, and ever since it's just been like going up. The new season just aired the beginning of December.
The show would go on hiatus as Drake Bell recovered, and this would prove to be quite a tough time for the young Nickelodeon star.
Being on all liquids and your face just being completely broken, not knowing, you know, I had 6 missing teeth.
Now, I actually remember hearing this, and it's very unfortunate, but you described the album as upbeat and happy, and you wanted this to happen because last December, I remember hearing about this, you were in a terrible car accident.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the details, they just told me this morning that you broke your jaw in like 3 different places, had your mouth wired, knocked out 6 teeth,
yeah,
broke your neck.
This cut went all the way through my mouth, so I couldn't really walk anywhere, do anything.
And
was wired shut for about 3 months.
You were like Kanye West now, you've got an album out.
Yeah, it was so funny because I would listen to Through the Wire while I was, and it is so dead on.
I was on medication, and it was all just a horrible time.
It's crazy.
Like sipping on your scissor.
Yeah, the lyrics are so dead on.
Not even knowing if you're gonna be okay, or if you're gonna be deformed, or what you're gonna look like, or how you're gonna sound, if you're ever gonna sing, ever gonna act.
Because I try to get out and go hang with friends and go to dinner with them and stuff, and I just sit there and be like, "You guys suck, man."
There's really
yeah. So
I'm gonna shake.
And Nickelodeon would have to adjust by airing the 4th season of Drake and Josh out of schedule. The final season would see Drake get his first real serious girlfriend in Carly.
Sparks, nice. Yeah, I saw him live last week at the Python.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Who he might still actually be with if you consider the Where's Walter series canon.
Toini!
But since the show was aired out of production order, he's seen making out with girls post-Carly, and some were even from episodes filmed post-Carly.
Say them!
I want someone what that last girl was getting.
Oh, God! Oh, go!
So yeah, Drake might not be the most faithful guy.
Is he the cutest boyfriend or what?
Boyfriend? Lucy? Christine?
How goes it, Drake?
It's been, you know.
But it doesn't look like the actress who played Carly regretted a
Put
thing.
a cherry stem in my mouth and tie it in a knot.
Drake and Josh became brothers at the age of 15. Sadly, there are no baby pictures of the two of them together. Well, except this one.
But after 4 seasons, it was time for the show to come to an end. Dan Schneider would answer on his website that no, the show wasn't canceled. It was just time for everybody to move on.
Drake and Josh just ended it after 4 seasons. Are you missing Drake and Josh yet? Or you want to do more television? You gonna stay with the music thing?
Like
I'm sensing you want to do the music thing.
Yeah, I mean, music's my passion in my life and everything, but you know, I definitely miss the show. It's like graduating from high school. You miss all your old friends that you see every day and stuff like that.
So it was time to wrap it up with our finale, Really Big Shrimp.
Don't go anywhere because our movie Really Big Shrimp is about to start.
Which aired on August 3rd, 2007.
This Friday, some of the biggest questions in the history of Drake and Josh will finally be answered. Is Drake getting a record deal?
Man, you just blew my underpants off.
Are Josh and Mindy getting back together?
Go clean the women's restrooms.
Fine, boss! Can brothers be partners?
You're fired!
Or will it all be destroyed by shrimp?
I was mesmerized by giant shrimp.
Find out in the world premiere movie Drake and Josh, Really Big Shrimp, this Friday night at 8.
Hey guys, Drake here, and it's time for the premiere of our movie Really Big Shrimp.
Nay, the world premiere. Okay, they haven't even seen this in China yet, and today is already yesterday there. It's the perfect way to kick off your Drake versus Josh weekend.
It's got everything. Me playing guitar, me getting the break of a lifetime.
Hold on. Aren't you forgetting something or someone?
Oh yeah, Miranda Cosgrove's in it, and she's amazing.
All right, all you need to know is that this is one of the greatest, most incredibly spectacular pieces of cinema ever.
Well, you guys at home can decide that for yourselves, so for the first time ever, here's our movie, Really Big Shrimp.
The first half of the episode was directed by Drake Bell.
I said Drake directed the first half of the movie.
Okay, ready? Action! See, I love it. I get to, say when to go to lunch, when to come back from lunch. In 2 hours.
Now, back to more of our movie. So great.
I got to direct the first half, so that was just unbelievable, just being able to, get on the other side of the camera and tell them what to do for the first time.
I was sure to be very difficult.
The episode was filled with callbacks.
I should probably be doing my homework.
Just doing a little homework here.
From recreating the opening to the first episode.
Whenever I get mixed up with Drake, things always turn out unusual. Okay.
To being a follow-up to the first movie.
Is there Alan Krim? He's in from New York, and I got him to come here to see Drake play live.
How'd you hook that up?
Oh, this guy we met in L.A.
Josh has gotten the record company rep Alan Krem to come see Drake perform his new song.
Drake Parker, I'm very excited to hear you play live. Don't screw this up.
Entitled Makes Me Happy.
When it makes me happy, we'll listen to the radio playing back in stereo. And actually, Makes Me Happy, which is on the new record, started out as a cue, and we were like, hey, this actually sounds like a cool song. We should turn this into a full-length thing and put it on the record, yeah.
So just whatever fits where.
Yeah.
Feels good.
A song that was inspired by Drake's real-life accident.
Afterwards, I just I was so depressed during that time, and then finally I started getting happier and feeling better, and wow, I can sing again, and because I never thought I was going to be able to.
That inspired the song. That's a nice story.
It's just all happiness.
The performance is a big success, and they even get offered to have Drake's song promote Deka shoes in a Super Bowl commercial.
And are you familiar with Deka shoes?
Yeah.
I'm rocking my Deka Air Puffs right now.
Instead of reading the record contract that was offered, Josh gets distracted by shrimp.
Page. Cool. Right there. All right. Can I add some cocktail sauce?
Yeah, and I'm the dumb one.
And shrimp was all over the place when they marketed the film.
Shrimp attack!
I wasn't scared.
After seeing the movie, I don't think I ever want to see another shrimp again.
Yeah, you said it.
Look what we got. The crew attacked the cheese plate, but I saved the good stuff.
Wow.
No, thanks.
I'll just take this.
Wait, hey!
Crackers. Wait, Cracker. Would you give me my cracker? I want it. No, this is a drive-by
Stop
cracker.
with the fighting. You guys are going to have to settle this some other way. I know. We're going to have a little crustacean competition. The Shrimp Olympics.
You're watching the premiere of our movie, Really Big Shrimp, part of Drake versus Josh weekend.
Making the movie was fun, but what I will always remember is all the free shrimp. Too bad I didn't get to eat any.
Hey, me neither.
Yeah, right.
No, not one shrimp.
And who did? Miranda.
Back at the premiere, Mindy takes the job of assistant manager.
Now I gotta go take my fiance to meet the rabbi.
Stealing Josh's dream of becoming a gold vest.
What do you think?
The record company butchers Drake's song.
I hate it. You didn't read the contract, did you?
And Josh gets fired as Drake's manager.
You're fired! I mean it!
Josh is able to sneak back in the original recording of the song. And that's what plays during the Super Bowl.
Don't spoil the moment, listen.
The Schneiderverse would show these same Deka shoes appearing on iCarly. Mindy is having a little trouble as assistant manager, having accidentally made Steve work on a Monday.
Monday's his bad day.
Josh fixes that problem.
Hey everyone, you're watching the premiere of the Drake and Josh movie, Really Big Shrimp.
Coming up, keep an eye out for the fruit flies, because the fruit flies are crazy. They weren't real. I had this box,
All right,
right?
now let's get back to our movie.
The record company is mad that they switched the songs.
You guys could be in a lot of trouble.
But since it was a big hit, everything's fine.
But you're not.
Drake's got himself a #1 hit.
I think you're about to have yourself a #1 hit.
I wanted to know if this was real life, what were the other songs from that time period? Well, since Really Big Shrimp took place in the year 2007, I looked at who was playing in that year's Super Bowl. That Super Bowl was XLI, and that was Peyton Manning's very first Super Bowl win, where the Indianapolis Colts won 29-17 over the Chicago Bears. The Super Bowl took place on February 4th, so I looked at the Billboard charts at that time period. So, if Drake Bell had the #1 song in the country, he would be beating out Beyonce.
And Beyonce.
So then I wanted to see who Drake's contemporaries on this chart would be. Artists who had a heavy guitar sound. Well, the closest musical artist would be The Fray at #9, All-American Rejects at 15, and John Mayer himself at 25. At Helen and Buzz's wedding, a light fire breaks out, then an explosion.
I pronounce you husband.
So the wedding gets moved outside. Mindy gets back together with Josh.
You want to get back together?
Okay. But I get to be the girlfriend.
And Josh finally gets his gold vest. Drake performs for Helen and Buzz.
They left us one shrimp.
When the brothers arrive back home, they notice that one piece of shrimp was left from the wedding feast.
Hello, my crustacean-less friends. I just have to say those were the best shrimp I have ever eaten. Totally delicious.
Okay, that is so wrong. Whatever. Okay, check out the grand finale. It's coming up after this.
I'm hungry just thinking about them. Yummy.
I want the shrimp.
I want it.
I want it.
Would you give it? Hey!
And this would bring the show full circle.
Keep an eye out for a little surprise flashback at the end of the movie. Now, that scene is what gave the creator of Drake and Josh the idea to make our own show.
So he ended the show with the scene with Drake and Josh fighting over a piece of shrimp, just like where he discovered the show, where they were like, ooh, that's our next show.
The show was a huge success. According to Variety, the rating for this special was 5.8, and the movie would constantly be re-aired throughout the week.
This is Drake vs. Josh Weekend.
This is Drake vs. Josh Weekend, and you're watching the world premiere of our new movie, Really Big Shrimp.
We had an awesome time making it.
That's focus, right, Timmy?
So Drake and Josh fight over a shrimp.
Stick around, we'll be back with more of our movie.
Hey everyone, Miranda Cosgrove's here to help us celebrate the premiere of our new movie. Miranda, what was your favorite part of making the movie?
The part where I get to take over your room was pretty cool.
And did you, enjoy all the shrimp you ate before any of us got to try any? You know, not even, one little piece.
When are you going to let that go? It's so last week.
All right, here's the conclusion of Really Big Shrimp on Drake vs. Josh Weekend.
And this was the perfect opportunity for Nickelodeon to promote Miranda Cosgrove and Dan Schneider's next show, iCarly.
The Shrimp Olympics. You're going down, buddy boy.
All right, you're on. Join us here tomorrow when Josh and I compete for honor and a cracker.
We'll also watch your top 10 favorite Drake and Josh episodes.
And we'll get a sneak peek of my new show, iCarly. It all starts tomorrow afternoon. We'll see you then.
The whole week was a celebration of Drake and Josh, airing what they considered the fan-favorite episodes. Though in my research, it was kind of hard to nail down what exactly the favorite episodes were.
Here's one of my favorite episodes, Vicious Tiberius.
All right, right now, here's one of my favorite Drake and Josh episodes, Blues Brothers.
My favorite episode was The Storm. Everybody was there. It was just a wonderful week on set, where all the characters were showing up, all the different, from Helen to Crazy Steve to, everybody was there. And
we're gonna leave you with one of our all-time favorite Drake and Josh episodes right now. Remember this one, Miranda, the Doom Buggy?
How could I forget? This is the one where Drake crashes his Doom Buggy that he's not supposed to be driving in the first place.
While taping this one, we had a guy underneath the Doom Buggy shaking it to make it look like it was running.
I have a few favorite times. I think one of them is when Josh and I did the Blues Brothers. That was pretty awesome. And I really liked the dance contest episode when Josh and I had to be each other's dance partners because our partners got in a fight and were disqualified.
The twitch.
I love that you're getting the kick out of it now.
With the show wrapped up, the stars started to take on new projects.
And it's very cool that you guys, I know that the show is still running, but you actually haven't worked together in 2 years? Is it a couple
about
years?
2 years.
But Drake and Josh still had more to do.
Ready? Let me focus.
Festive things to do.
We were finished with Drake and Josh, and the show was already over, and Dan Schneider came to us and said, you know, we never did a Christmas episode. It dawned on me that we never did a Christmas episode. Wouldn't it be cool if we all got back together and did a Drake and Josh Christmas special?
So did you help come up with the idea of the movie, or?
Our creator, Dan Schneider, came up with the original idea, and the great thing is we always felt like open to throw out ideas, and I gave some notes on the initial script, and then any chance we had to make it funnier, we did. So that was sort of like the greatest gift.
Tell us a little bit about this movie. It's the holidays are coming up,
it's
and
really
this will
cool
be a great little addition.
we hadn't been together for 2 years. The show ended in 2006. We've been away and not been able to play together for a while, so it's really cool.
How
to be
long
back.
has the break been since you were actually doing shows?
2 years.
It was sort of like a bad breakup, and then we came back together. We Facebook friended each other, and everything was good.
Everybody had been away from each other for almost 2 years. Would they still have the chemistry?
And so it was like a great big reunion to all come back together and work for about 4 or 5 weeks on a project. So it was like a big high school reunion kind of. It was awesome. Yeah, actually, I called Josh a few weeks ago, and you know, it's like high school. It's like you don't want to go back because of the work, but you want to go see all your friends and you want to hang out. And luckily, our work is fun, you know. So
it is fun.
So I said, you know, let's get back. Let's do something together. You know, would you want to do that? And he was interested, and we went to the network. We went to Nickelodeon and said, let's, you know, maybe like a movie of the week or something for the end of the year, like maybe a Christmas episode or something. You know, like Drake and Josh Show Hollywood or something like that. Yeah. So hopefully by the end of the year we'll have something.
5 weeks were set aside for them to film the movie.
We're doing a parade scene today.
Filming in LA on 95 to 115 degree days.
Is everybody for the party scene?
Ready to party it up on the roof?
Yeah, are you ready to party it up on the roof?
Can't wait.
It was a little tough for people to rock a Christmas sweater all day.
Jingle bells, jingle bells. You guys are gonna love this movie. Yeah, whoever's watching.
Some cast members had a harder time than others getting back into the Drake and Josh mode.
When we had finished Drake and Josh in 2006, and then we took like a 2-year break and came back for the Christmas movie.
Yes.
And in that time, I had done, you know, some movies and the whackness and certain things that required it to be, you know, more grounded. And I remember we came back and doing my first scene of the Christmas movie with Kimbo Slice, R.I.P.
May he rest in peace, my God.
Like, just a gem of a guy.
Sweet man.
And I remember we did the first few takes, and Dan, the creator of the show, took me over to the side, and he's like, you know, and God bless him, because he was a huge fan of what I had done since Drake and Josh.
Right,
but he said, that's not going to fly here. And he just said, what you're doing is great if this was like an indie movie, but you've got to ramp the energy back up to where we were. And I was like, and of course, because I had done it for so long, I was like, okay, gotcha. And it sort of clicked right back. But I remember thinking, like, yeah, like this.
And did it feel too big to you for a minute? Like for a minute, were you like, this is huge?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm a shtick machine.
Tell me about it. Don't I know?
Jesus. And
Come
like,
on.
I
Ham.
mean, and sometimes to my detriment, where I'm like, all right, really, you know, I'm milking this hard.
Next Friday, the brothers are back. Now they have one shot at saving Christmas.
Let it snow, brother!
Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh. The brand new movie premieres next Friday at 8, only on Nick.
And with the movie wrapped up, it was time to get back on the talk show circuit.
Josh Peck, along with Drake Bell. We can see them both in Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh. Welcome them now. Here they are, lovely young men.
It's called Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh. Take a look.
It's tomorrow night, I believe.
Tomorrow night?
Yep.
There you
Tomorrow
go.
night.
That is pretty soon.
Friday night.
That's right.
Yeah.
Drake Bell and Josh Peck, Miranda Cosgrove, thank you so much. Thanks so much for coming by.
This next performer represents everything the VMAs are about.
He's rock, he's rap, and a whole lot of controversy.
That's true. He is. I love me. That's right. He does it all, ladies and gentlemen. Kid Rock!
The pair have reunited for a special holiday movie, and they're still getting themselves into lots of trouble.
We have to give this little girl the best Christmas ever. And there's one scene where we try to make, let's make it snow. She's never seen snow. They live in San Diego. And we put ice into a wood chipper and it ends up making ice bullets to tear up the city instead of having snow come out of the wood chipper.
I play Mary Alice. She's the youngest of 5 foster kids, and she wants the best Christmas promise from Drake. She wants the best Christmas for her brothers and sisters. And it's basically that with Drake and Josh all trying to give us the best thing. We go hunting for a tree. We ended up with a lawn chair because we couldn't find a tree. It's so much chaos in the movie, and it's so much fun. We get to do caroling. And actually, the funny part was I had to record the 12 Days of Christmas the day before we shoot it, and I had no scene experience. That I'm not sure how it turned out. That the guy was wanting me to go up, and I was going down at my notes. So I'm excited to see how it turned out, and I'm not excited.
The Drake and Josh movie is filled with everything you love about Drake and Josh. Hilarity, ballyhoo, hijinks, Megan, Helen, Crazy Steve, me and Drake. What more could you want?
You don't come back.
What do you, Matt?
Why
I feel this.
Why do we hurt each other like this?
I'm feeling this.
Jerry Trainer here, and this year I'm inviting you to spend the holidays with me in the hit movie Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh.
Here's your sneak peek, so peek it.
Don't miss the brand new holiday movie Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh, Friday, December 5th at 8 on Nick.
This Christmas, you'll never guess who's coming to town.
Santa! That's not what Santa does.
And that's for being such a good girl this year. It's Drake and Josh, like you've never seen them before.
$400 for public nudity?
This holiday season.
Best Christmas ever.
You can't break a Christmas promise.
You better watch out.
Let it snow, brother.
Because Christmas will never be the same.
That's pathetic. If you squint, it looks kind of nice.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh, a brand new movie coming this holiday season on Nick.
Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh starts with a reintroduction to the family. Walter and Audrey are off to a couple's vacation, and the kids are left to celebrate Christmas at home.
Inflatable snowman. Yes? You're not having a Christmas party on the roof of the premiere. Helen will fire me. No, I already cleared it with Helen. She said it's cool as long as she's invited.
And we see the new location for the premiere. Audrey and Walter were sold a bill of goods on this luxury vacation.
What's the difference between this and the regular bungalow?
This one has a radio.
The premiere hosts a Christmas party on the roof. Mindy lets Josh know that she has to go spend the holidays with her family.
Can't your parents go visit your grandmother without you?
I'll be back on New Year's.
Some punks begin causing trouble.
Invite those guys?
Hello? Cops?
A disturbance on the roof of the Premier Mall.
When the cops get called, everyone scatters. While everyone's panicking, Josh gets accidentally knocked off the roof.
There, he's trying to get away!
Where the cops mistake it for him trying to make a run for it. Josh is arrested, and we get to meet his cellmate Blood, who was played by famed fighter, the late Kimbo Slice. They bond over Josh's magic. Drake gets tricked into handing over Josh's bail money to a shady lawyer. While playing a mall Santa earlier in the film, Drake had made a promise to a little foster child named Mary Alice. He promised her that their family would have the perfect Christmas. And, well, she didn't believe that was Santa.
How did you know it was me?
Because of your eyes and your voice. I have your CD. I listen to it all the time.
And since Drake isn't a sociopath, he won't break a Christmas promise.
Because I live in a foster home with 5 other kids. And our foster mom got sick and she's in the hospital now. Because you're going to fix it. So I'll have the best one ever.
And this film will stress that you can't break a Christmas promise.
Drake don't
won't keep his Christmas promise. You can't break a Christmas promise. I know, you can't break a Christmas promise.
But he knows that he needs some help to give Mary Alice and those foster children a perfect Christmas.
What are you gonna do? I don't know.
So he attempts to break Josh out of jail.
You can't break a Christmas promise, Josh.
Thank you, Bledge.
But they end up getting caught. While in court, Helen represents the brothers and convinces the judge, who was played by Henry Winkler, that they can't be in jail because they made this little girl a Christmas promise. They are released on the conditions that they have to follow through with this promise, and they have nothing else on their record.
I will not put you in jail this time.
Are you sure?
If you do not give this little girl and her family the best Christmas ever, I will put you in jail and melt the key down myself.
Perry Jane Gilbert is their parole officer, and he hates the brothers. He tickets and punishes them any chance that he gets. Sometimes it's deserved. Drake and Josh have no idea how to give a perfect Christmas.
What are we gonna do for Christmas?
Well?
Drake has a real moment with the foster dad outside. Foster dad indicates that he's rooting for the brothers to succeed.
No, Officer Gilbert came by the house, practically threatened me with prison if I tell the kids about the vote.
They fail at making Christmas cookies, and to make matters worse, Perry paid people to steal Drake and Josh's clothes, just to find a new way to find them.
$100 for public nudity? He gave Trevor a Zobo, which happens to be a Smith Royal in mint condition.
Megan is bribed into helping Drake and Josh not be tracked down by Perry.
Keep running, boob.
Drake and Josh are still failing to capture the spirit of Christmas.
When does this Christmas start to be the best?
The parents aren't having much Christmas fun either. Megan reapplies the trackers when she realizes that Trevor's grandfather doesn't have an oboe for her. So much for less evil.
So I'm playing some pranks, but I'm also a little more mature, and I'm helping out Drake and Josh a little more, so I'm not totally evil anymore.
His grandfather never played in the Fresno Philharmonic. He works as a men's room attendant in Puerto Rico.
Drake realizes that it might be easier to get the kids to do Christmas stuff if the older brother Luke is involved. So he challenges Luke that if he makes this basketball shot, Luke has to join in. Well, Drake misses. Season 1 Drake Bell would be very ashamed. He was at least somewhat of an athlete.
Then I won some music competition, 100-yard dash.
After much prodding, Luke joins in on the Christmas fun. Perry arrives to cite them another fine. So Josh seeks out Perry's mom to figure out why he hates the brothers so much.
He hates Christmas. But why?
Well, he doesn't hate them, he just hates Christmas. Because when he was younger, he always wanted a monkey. And the monkey that he got went berserk on him. And peed on him. This isn't the first time somebody's been peed on during an episode of Drake and Josh. To try to make friends with Officer Perry, Drake and Josh find a new monkey for Officer Gilbert to love. Well, the parents have had enough of their vacation, so they're gonna head home. At the big Christmas Day parade, Officer Gilbert convinces Crazy Steve to mention that Drake and Josh are really only helping these kids because if they don't, they'll go to jail.
You see, a judge said that Drake and Josh have to give you guys the best Christmas ever, or else they gotta go back to prison.
Mary Alice and her foster siblings overhear this, and they leave quite disappointed. The brothers still want to come through on this promise, even if they still have to go to jail. Officer Gilbert is touched when he receives this new monkey at his office. Drake and Josh get the idea to make it snow in San Diego. But instead of snow, they place ice down Crazy Steve's wood chipper, and it shoots out like a machine gun. This causes major property damage, and Drake and Josh get knocked out while trying to shut the machine off. When they regain consciousness, they see Officer Gilbert and the monkey staring at him. He's touched by this gesture. But now it's time for the bad news. But it's a swerve! The Foster family, Craig, Eric, Helen, Gavin, and Megan are all in the living room to wish them a very Merry Christmas. The Foster children actually did learn how to celebrate Christmas.
Most of the Christmas stuff you guys tried to do for us, well, sucked. But you still taught us a lot.
Mindy is back and concerned about Josh.
Drake's fine. Josh.
I'm good.
Is it true you went to jail, and is that a monkey?
So, are Drake and Josh going to jail? Or was it the best Christmas ever? Which was the working title for Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes!
And down the chimney is Blood.
This is my friend, mentor, and former cellmate, Bludge.
Cellmate?
Who must be the real Santa Claus because he knew that Megan wanted a Smith Royal oboe?
A Smith Royal oboe?
And I don't really think she deserved one. And Helen wants herself some Bludge. And now it's snowing.
Snow?
In San Diego.
In San
Which
Diego?
you wouldn't think is possible. But through my research, I found out it's something that happens like once every 30 years. But in this case, it's not snow. Crazy Steve is just putting cheese in his wood chipper. Walter and Audrey arrive home just in time for the family to spend Christmas together.
Why does it smell like cheese?
Christmas! Christmas, baby! Yeah!
This holiday special was a huge success as well, getting over 8 million viewers. With the movie wrapped up, there didn't look like there was going to be any more Drake and Josh on the horizon.
Yeah, how far we've fallen. Hey, remember when we had a TV show on, like, television? Yeah.
What kind of roles are you looking? What would you love people to offer you now that is so different than Drake and Josh? I mean, you're going to do, you're doing music, obviously. You're touring. You were in Mexico, which I know that's very important to you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm working on a new album now and stuff. I mean, as far as films, I mean, I don't know. I love acting, so anything really. I don't.
Hey, Streisand and I are in talks for a Yentl sequel.
So now it was time for some new roles.
I'm serious. It's time for you
Drake
to
Bell
get
found
safety.
himself entangled in the web of the Spider-Verse.
They will never let you fall. I'm Spider-Man. I'm Spider-Man. I'm Spider-Man.
Spider-Man!
Which is kind of wild for a guy that, on record, said that he prefers Batman.
If I was any superhero, which one would I be? Probably Batman. Probably Batman. Because he's just awesome, and he's rich, and he's not, he doesn't have superpowers. He wasn't bitten by some he wasn't bitten by something.
Oh my god.
First, he's filming a Spider-Man parody called Superhero Movie.
My character is lampooning Peter Parker from Spider-Man. My character is Rick Riker, who is much like Peter Parker from Spider-Man.
Stop the bus!
And he gets bitten by a dragonfly. I'm not at all a superhero when you meet me. It's pretty much Peter Parker.
To then actually becoming the voice of Spider-Man in the cartoon Ultimate Spider-Man.
Well, I'm the voice of Spider-Man on Ultimate Spider-Man.
Awesome, by the way,
Thanks,
just saying.
thanks.
Looking good, Parker.
And he's kept himself busy with a whole bunch of movies released direct-to-video. Also taking a stab at reality TV.
I'm watching Celebrities Underwater. I opened too early. I've got 2 black eyes, a concussion.
I'm afraid of heights, first of all. I'm terrified of heights.
Drake, you're clearly upset. You wanted to just get your scores. You didn't want to hear what they had to say. And you made a comment. You said, at least I went in head first. What'd you mean by that?
You know what I meant by that.
But not every project has made it past its pilot stage, including this one that I found where he was going to play a fictionalized version of himself who finds out that Drake and Josh has been canceled. And then another show for CBS called The Fish Tank.
We're doing we just finished taping, and it looks great. It's really funny. We got a great cast with Chris Elliott and Wendy Malick and Kate Ford, and it's hysterical. I really like it, so who knows, it's a pilot, so we'll see. Hopefully all of the fans can flood CBS and make sure that they get this on the air.
Yeah, and I think you just have to care about the work, It's like we don't get this so that we can go play and get the perks of it. It's like I enjoy just being there and working and having fun with all the people, like Josh and all the cast and everybody. So that's kind of what keeps me going.
So Josh went in a little bit more serious direction.
I think there's definitely... there always presents a problem of being able to reinvent yourself and change with the times and committing yourself to an amount of quality so that you don't fall into the pitfalls that so many people like us have unfortunately fallen into. And I guess you have to have a great support team around you.
Starring in films like The Whackness.
You doing some drama?
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to do a film called The Whackness last year with Sir Ben Kingsley. That was definitely something that's in a different light than Drake and Josh, and just things that challenge me and that I can be shown in a different light.
And the 2012 remake of Red Dawn. Josh became sort of an it actor in Hollywood.
You've been everywhere. Everybody knows how you started off as a child star. Now you've morphed into a social media star. Grandfather now coming out on Fox.
Yes.
Oh, well, you know, I do have a new show on Fox called Grandfathered with John Stamos coming up this fall.
That's great. Wonderful. TV's taken, Josh. Remember, we already talked about that. Okay.
I'm a really big deal. You definitely are, bro. Changing the world.
But what it seems Josh Peck is most known for these days is as a viral content creator.
In honor of 3 million followers, I ain't calling you a truther.
Especially like in the social media world, like if people love what you're doing, they'll tell you right away.
Yeah.
But if they hate what you're doing, they will tell you even sooner.
Yes.
So you gotta have a thick skin and a really good resolve and know that it's like your deep passion and it's the one thing that'll make you happy.
It's spherical! Spherical! 2 million followers! Hug me, brother. Make it. You're welcome.
Look, it was born out of loving Vine videos and different Vine stars, and I just started making them for fun, and I had this small fan base from Twitter. And so when I pushed it out to Twitter, it started this sort of, it just grew at an incredible speed.
Working alongside comedians like Jason Nash. Funny enough, Jason Nash actually had a bit role on Drake and Josh.
You didn't even say anything.
Watch me walk out. Watch me walk. Look at the way I'm walking. I've got a hand in my back. Woo!
And I was lucky enough to have friends in the social media business, and we were talking a lot at the first couple months as the videos were getting a lot of hits, and he said, I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it's good. Do this.
You're a veteran.
Yes, I've been out of my mind since toddlerhood.
Miranda Cosgrove would now star in her own show, iCarly.
And Miranda, do you want to continue in the acting gig?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you guys have a really bright future ahead. It really is exciting.
By an extended sneak peek of the brand new Nick show, iCarly.
After that, we'll show you a sneak peek of Miranda's new show, iCarly.
This show was also created by Dan Schneider, who not only cast Miranda Cosgrove, but hired Jerry Trainer to take on the role of Brother Spencer.
I know you see somehow the world will shoot.
Sorry, time's up.
Drake Bell would help Miranda Cosgrove compose the show's theme song.
Leave It All to Me is a song that Miranda performs for the theme song, actually, for iCarly.
Give it up for my friend Drake Bell!
I guested on the recording, and so I'm going to be playing it since we're in LA together tonight.
I'm actually doing the part with Drake where we're singing a few of the verses together.
Hey, yeah, there's lots of stuff I shouldn't do. Miranda's awesome. She's so professional.
Anytime I got to work with Miranda, that was fun.
And even popped in for a brief cameo.
Your posture?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Megan.
Hi.
Who's she?
I don't believe I know you.
Where's Josh? Where's Mom and Dad?
You can still see Miranda Cosgrove pop up on shows today. The show's cast has gone on record multiple times talking about how close they all are.
What's it like performing together after all these years?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it's
Mildly entertaining. And don't be nervous. She's just a girl. And a person also. Just remember, I smell an Emmy.
And we all really got on really great. It was a lot of fun. So having everybody there was awesome. And everybody had like a little nugget.
The best thing about working on Drake and Josh is all the really, really talented and amazing personalities that are on set every day. It's a really fun place to come and to learn and just to have a lot of fun.
I don't know if there's a specific favorite memory, just the entire experience as a whole. Just the friendships and the family and just everything that we got to experience together. It was a blast all the way through.
The beautiful thing was, especially our relationship and on the show, was like we both had these things that we were great at, and it was different from each other. So I could like prop him up and make him look great, and he would do that for me. And we were like really great. Like our working relationship was beautiful, especially because like you don't get that a lot of times.
Yeah, no.
And so like he would set me up for a joke, I would set him up. There was just this great chemistry.
Josh was an only child, so I think I was like really the closest thing that he would ever have to a brother, and we were really close. I mean, there were times when we didn't want to talk to each other unless it was the dialogue, you know, and I can't stand him. And then there was times where we're inseparable, where it's like, hey, what are you doing after work after a 16-hour day? Nothing. Oh, come cruise over. We'll play. I got this new PlayStation game, you know, and we'd stay up all night and play video games. I crash on his couch and like, oh, we got to go to work the next day, and we're like literally inseparable.
We are all like a family. I mean, I can call anybody up from Drake and Josh right now on my phone and go have lunch with them right now.
Yeah.
If I needed anything from anybody from that show, all I'd have to do is pick up the phone.
I want to say something else, too, because it may have been implied that I like Josh and I don't like Drake in real life, and I like them both in real life, and I want to make sure I make that clear.
But it's not balanced, guys.
Let
Let me make that clear.
I don't want the...
She has an affinity for me. Sorry, Drake.
Because I can see the Twitters now. Oh, my God, Yvette said that she doesn't like Drake. That is not what I said. I love Drake, too. But...
Are you syncopated?
Oh, that's a nice one.
Total chaos
well,
up here.
Good luck. And now here's more Fairly Odd Parents.
After a little while, right? Sorry, his phone was ringing.
The chemistry was natural.
Thanks. Sorry. It really matters. She's blocked and shadowed.
You know what? I'm just kidding.
I had a hot dog eating contest once with my great uncle Dwight, and I won.
Dwight? Who won?
I won, of course.
Oh, we get it already.
So natural that people even thought Walter and Audrey were married in real life. So close that Crazy Steve and Mindy would form a real-life band.
We were all such great friends, and everybody got along so well on that show that any inkling of us being able to get back together, we all jump at, you know.
Kind of talk to everyone a little bit. I mean, for better or for worse, David has brought us all together. It's weirdly special because we had this experience, and so what I love is if I see Drake a fair amount, or if I see Yvette or anyone else in the cast.
Yvette is the mom. Oh,
Helen.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I'll say, we'll just trade stories about, like, what's your experience like when people come up to you? And
introducing everyone, my sister, Miranda Cosgrove. Wow.
Thank you.
So with all this closeness with the cast,
So you guys know what that means, right?
Actually, we don't.
people just felt there has to be more Drake and Josh. When reboots became the it thing in Hollywood, the cast all expressed that they would be interested in rebooting the show.
But you wanted to come back. Neither one of you said maybe not.
No, I mean, I was ecstatic to come back. When the show ended, it was sort of like the rug was kind of pulled out from under us, you know. So it wasn't like, I don't think we were prepared for it to really be over. And I love working with Josh, and it's so much fun.
And after 2 years of Pilates, I was ready to start working again.
The only holdout appeared to be Josh Peck.
Look, I've always said when the Beatles wanted to get back together, John was always like, hey, let me know when the rehearsal is. And Paul was always like, no, we can't do that. So I've always said I'm the John Lennon of the Drake and Josh reunion.
Any projects with you two together, like in the future?
I don't really know. I've been working a lot on my own, and I know he's pursuing his music, but you never know. But for now, probably not.
Will they get a reboot as well?
You know what? Drake and Josh is one of the first shows I ever did on Nickelodeon. I would say that if they called me, I would definitely go, and I think Drake and Josh would go too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that we need just those three. We have, Megan would be, Miranda Cosgrove played Megan. I think everyone involved would come back. So come on, Dan Schneider, do it. Do the reboot.
I would work with Josh. When I see me and Josh's relationship or career, whatever it is, our artistic relationship, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau and Grumpy Old Men and in The Odd Couple and see them. I see us working together when we're 65 years old. And still bringing it. Because, like I said, I'm not going to be able to go and find that with anybody else. It's not.
It's a once in a lifetime thing.
There are actors that I've made television shows with, movies with, multiple television shows. There's an actor I just did 8 episodes of a television show. I did a pilot with him. I've made a movie with him. Spent months with. We still don't have the chemistry that Josh and I have.
Yeah.
And I've done multiple projects with these guys, and yeah, we have great chemistry. We're funny together, but it'll never be what Josh and I have.
No.
So I would always be. I'm the John Lennon in this situation. If the Beatles want to get back together, if it's in our schedules and everybody can make the time for it, and we're all not busy,
you're down.
I'd do it. I'd do it tomorrow.
Well, give Josh a call and see if he's down. I'm in. Dad, Megan.
Oh, God, I'm on the wrong show.
We even got a glimpse of it in 2017 when Drake Bell would show up on Josh Peck's new show, Grandfather.
I need some leadership here. You're the Viner.
This is weird.
Over your shoulder, you told you I'd always be picking you up, laying you down.
We worked together last year on Grandfather.
Go away. Have a nice night.
Don't tell me what to do.
We hadn't been together for 10 years.
Wow.
And Josh was right after the scene. And I mean, we got right into it. We were boom, 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 making stuff up, ad-libbing, all this stuff, stuff that actually made the episode.
But as of 2019, it looked like everybody was now on board.
But I think it's a lot closer than it's ever been.
Okay.
You know, I think I'm okay to say that it's at least it's on the table. You know, before this is a common question and it's been happening for years. And you know, when are you and Josh going to get back together? And my answer was always, I don't know, call Josh. I don't know. Like,
but now it's on the table, so that's a next step.
Now we've at least discussed a possibility of something happening. And yeah, but not just to do it. You know, if there's something to just, oh, here's a great opportunity to get you guys back together and everyone will love it. It's like, yeah, but is it cool? And is it just kind of just trying to, you know, get the money that's on the table, or like he's artistic, you know, and me too. So like it's got to be something thoughtful.
They just needed to find the right idea.
Me and Josh want it to be something creative, and it has to be something that, you know, it can't be Drake and Josh in college where, you know, now it's the same character. It's got to be, you know, we don't want to do a Fuller House, you know, I mean, that they love, that's a great show, I love that.
Yeah. No, but probably not this idea.
What should the plot be for the next Drake and Josh movie?
Drake and Josh go to Singapore.
Bring what you're talking about, what it meant to grow up on a show and to love these characters and to get, you know, it's something, you know, it's full, like what Full House is to people. You know, someone needs to bring that to YouTube or bring that to the internet world.
Dan Schneider could be the guy.
I think it'd be cool if we just came back like exactly where we left off. You know, like I don't know what the last episode is. I think I got like my song in the Super Bowl or something like that, and Josh became my manager and all that stuff. Yeah. Like I think it would be really cool if everybody came back to the same sets, to the same room, to the same everything, and we literally just picked up the show exactly where we left off, and we don't mention why we look 15 years older. Josh might have a little stubble, might be a little gray in his beard, you know, but like I put my hair back and like wear the same clothes and like, but we picked the show up exactly where we left off, and we're like heading to the Super Bowl because I'm gonna play, you know, or let's play some concert or something like that, where Josh and I are, you know, seniors in high school or junior, wherever we left off. And Megan and Miranda comes back and she's like, why do we have this 25-year-old woman living in our house as our little sister? And we live in our house and we live with our parents, and like Jonathan and Nancy are just older, but we just never mention it, and we never reference anything. It's literally just like you're watching the continuation of the show, but we're 15 years older, you know?
But as of the recording of this video, it looks like this reunion is gonna happen.
Well, I don't know if I wouldn't call it a reboot. I think it's just an opportunity for Drake and I to be working together again. And obviously we love each other and we were able to make such an impact on people. So any chance to do something dope together, it's really exciting for me. So it's gonna be good. Y'all will like it.
Since going off the air, Drake and Josh has kind of taken on a second life. And that's probably because it appealed to all demographics.
I'm very proud of Drake and Josh, of the show. I think it's a really special show in a lot of ways.
And the thing that's funny is they still replay it. Nickelodeon runs these reruns forever. So I have fans today who are 5 years old, and I have fans that were 30.
You know, there was no iCarly, there was no Victoria, there was no, Nickelodeon hadn't had some big breakout success hit before us. And then, so when we were making the show 8-10 years later, now recently even more now, that in interviews people treat the show like it's Seinfeld or like it's the Friends or like it's this groundbreaking, you know, show that happened, and it like the nostalgia and it's just crazy. So now when I go out and I walk around and I hang out, it's like it's almost as if we were shooting the show now.
What I'm really protective of is the show and what it means to people, because like we did something special.
there'd be a 6-year-old who wasn't even alive when the show was airing, and there'll be a 35-year-old who's, was probably 20 when the show aired or something like that. It's just crazy. It's just there's no demographic. It's become Full House. That's a good example.
And it was just wonderful because it was kind of like the Cheers or the Seinfeld of kids' TV. I mean, it was that big.
Yeah. It was younger kids, but actually with the show, what was so great about it was it wasn't just a kids show. I mean, I would have parents and older sisters and brothers. It was like more of a family show. Like, everybody could sit and watch it. So it wasn't really geared towards young kids.
An entire generation grew up with you. Do you still have Drake and Josh fans that approach you?
I do. I just did an interview like 30 minutes before talking to you, and the two guys that did the interview were Drake and Josh fans. They're babies who just grew up watching our foolishness, which means a lot to me because, I grew up watching Cosby Show and different world and facts of life, and so, to be on a show that kids watched and enjoyed in the same way I watched and enjoyed those shows is just amazing to me.
It could be a 6-year-old who wasn't even alive when the show was on, or it could be a 60-year-old who's going, oh man, it's the only show I could sit down and watch with my kids or my grandkids.
And so to me, like, that means everything to me.
Yeah.
And I would never have anything but like love for him and what we made together because it means so much to people.
I'm probably the total opposite of Josh. Like, if you ask Josh this question, he would say, oh, I haven't watched Drake and Josh in 10 years. I'd never even watched it when it's on. I watch it all the time.
What?
I watch it all the time. I just really loved being on Drake and Josh, like full on 100. It was dope.
And fans just want to feel a part of this show.
When someone comes up to you and goes, hug me, brother, like, what do you do?
Oh man,
Do you hug them, brother?
I do hug them, brother. Yes, as long as it's appropriate and there's witnesses.
Yep.
But
smart. You never know.
People actually, one of the things they say the most to me is they ask me to call them a boob.
Really?
It's funny, yeah.
They use it in their memes.
Crazy Steve has enchiladas. I don't remember if I ate them or if Josh ate them, but he got really mad and he comes out and now there's a really funny meme of him running around going, who ate my enchiladas?
Oh, I think I've seen that.
I had the complaint the day of the shooting, and I still complain about it. Why didn't I just climb through the window? Why didn't they make the window smaller?
Listen, you are a lean man. But you've not been to a window?
Yeah, look how big the window is. Look at that.
That's a gigantic window.
Like, they couldn't have made it like that.
You 100% could have fit without even like scrunching.
You're not even trying. This girl, she comes up to me.
Okay.
And her mom said, you have no idea how crazy it is that we are seeing you here in Peru right now. We have been searching for the Peruvian puff pepper the whole time we've been here, and all we've been talking about is Drake and Josh.
You calling me a liar?
I ain't calling you a truther. Boom, catchphrase!
They avoided pop culture references so as not to date the show.
And we never did anything, we never mentioned the Kardashians on the show, or we never mentioned any pop culture, any references on the show that would go, oh, this show must be from that era or something, we didn't have any pop culture references in it, and the writing was really thoughtful. It wasn't just kids' TV. If you go back, it's so quotable, and the writing was so thoughtful. So I think that was just always important to us.
The desire for a reunion was so strong that Drake Bell even made a web series called Where's Walter?
Hey everyone, Drake Parker here. As you know, my dad Walter is missing. What if Walter went crazy and he becomes some homeless guy and we don't know why he ran away? It's just something happened. He just went nuts. I'm on tour and I just got a call from my mom. And apparently Walter, my dad, is missing.
We found Walter! Hey! My name is Jonathan Goldstein. I'm an actor.
I'm like, it's a great idea. And I'm like, you know what? I just bought all this camera equipment. Let's just go shoot something real quick. So we went and had some fun, and it kind of snowballed into this whole thing where we got Yvette, who played Helen, to come back, and Nancy, who played Audrey, my mom, and hey, the Great Doheny. That's that magician Josh really loves. You know, the one that stayed at our house?
Drake Parker.
I mean, we had all these characters coming back and doing these little snippets.
Have you seen Walter?
This one.
That's Craig?
No, I'm Eric. And no, this is Scott Halberstadt.
Even providing a canon reason on why Crazy Steve was so crazy.
We're clones of all of them. Why do you think Crazy Steve went crazy? He figured it out.
Your YouTube. If you go on YouTube, check out Where's Walter. If you're Drake and Josh fans, you will totally dig that.
But things might look a little different when they reboot the show. The house that you saw on Drake and Josh no longer exists.
First it was being sold. That was a bummer. And then but I was like, oh, whatever, someone else will just buy the house. And then it got torn, and then it was being torn down, so I went by there, because I've been out of town, obviously, I've been on tour, and then I came back for just a little while, and I was like, oh, we gotta go see the house before it's completely gone. Like, I wanna catch like some last remnants of it. And I showed up and the whole place was just gone. Oh my God. It's crazy. What's up, everybody? I came to check out the Drake and Josh house, and it is gone. All that remains is this mailbox. But yeah, it was kind of a bummer to see that it's like gone. I think it should have been, you know, the Smithsonian should have been involved. You know, there should have been
I was waiting
petitions. For that. I think there was a petition. There had to have been.
Did you create it and sign it and
No,
pass
I
it around?
definitely signed it, but I, you know, there's enough love for it that it didn't have to be created by someone involved with the show, you know, and that's why I think it should have been a historical way. It's famous on social media, man. When the thing got torn down and when it was up for sale, and people were always going by it and knocking on the doors, and people were always, you know, bugging the residents of the house, you know, taking pictures in front of it and stuff, but...
This home was used for the exterior shots of Drake and Josh.
We're at the Drake and Josh house, aren't we?
No, we're not.
I'm home! He's home! I can't believe it!
This is where you played catch with Megan?
Yeah, I played catch with Megan here, and this is where I'm sure we played some sort of trick on Walter.
You've never been inside?
Sure.
Why?
I lived here my entire life.
You've been inside this house?
Yeah.
But it's not like the actual house.
No, David, dude, it was a show. It was a TV show. It was pretend.
When did you know that it was the house?
As soon as I realized who the fuck I'm dealing with.
Yeah, it is kind of a bummer that, you know, that you can go by sort of these iconic... Nick on Sunset, too, I mean, is gone now. I mean, Nick on Sunset for me is more emotional of like, because that was my home, you know, that's where we shot Drake and Josh. Everything that you saw on Drake and Josh was shot at Nick on Sunset. Even if we're outside, like when we're shooting, like we're supposed to be stuck on the side of the freeway or something, you know, in that episode, that was just in the parking lot of Nick on Sunset, you know. If we were ever, you know, whenever we're learning how to, you know, trying to drive that car and we can't drive it and stick, all that, like that's all just right at Nick on Sunset. So that being torn down and turned into whatever apartments or whatever they're doing to it now, that's kind of like, oh man, like.
The home was owned by a friend of Dan Schneider's.
Well, the thing is, it's just some private residence, you know. It was actually a house that was around the corner from the creator of the show, and they were just friends of his, and they were like, yeah, sure, you can use our house. So we actually only shot at the real house for like the intros and outros of going into the bedroom window and coming out, and then we were only physically there shooting for the Drake and Josh, Merry Christmas Drake and Josh, when we did the whole snowing outside, and a lot of the stuff for that movie was actually shot at the house.
When filming the actual show, you rarely saw them ever outside. And while the show took place in San Diego, they never really wrote the show like it took place in San Diego.
You're wearing rain boots a lot. A lot.
And it was never raining.
We live in San Diego on the show.
Audrey and Walter must have made pretty good money at their jobs because this is a nice neighborhood. You wonder how good Audrey was at catering if she was able to afford this home before Walter moved in.
I live here with my mom and my little sister Megan.
Because if it matched what the real-life home had, they were making bank.
5 bedrooms.
And we had to share the fucking attic?
Exactly.
Thanks a lot, Mom and Dad. By the way, where's this tennis court?
They must have added it in when you guys moved off to college.
What the hell? I guess the news channel's really paying Walter well.
I love this.
The only thing that could stop a reunion happening now is if Drake and Josh somehow hated each other. And that almost happened when the two had a blow-up over Josh getting married and not inviting Drake Bell to his wedding.
And part of Drake's accusations included his tweet
true colors have come out today. The message is loud and clear. Ties are officially cut. I'll miss you, brother.
That there was a big to-do on social media last year where Josh got married, of course. You were not at the service. You were not at the ceremony, I should say.
Nope.
And Drake Bell wasn't the only cast member not invited.
Did you go to the wedding?
No, I didn't go.
What did you think about Drake's tweets that he didn't get invited? He was very miffed.
I don't know. I'm just happy for Josh. I hope he has a good marriage.
I know.
It's exciting. It's just like crazy to me that so much time's passed. Like so many of my friends and people that were on Nickelodeon with me are married now. It's crazy.
That is so nuts. I think it makes everyone feel old.
Yeah, a little bit.
Everyone keeps in touch. I mean, it's hard in this career. You know, you're together like a family, then everyone goes their separate ways.
Yeah, I really only, see them once in a while. So I'm going to Drake's birthday in a few days, in like 3 days.
How was Josh's wedding?
Oh, yeah.
But, do something nice for you.
I'm happy he found love, and I didn't have to be there. I'm just happy he's found someone that loves him.
Well, tell Drake that.
Yeah.
Sorry I didn't invite you to my wedding. Thanks for not tweeting about it.
But before this could become a really big issue, it got squashed really fast.
I was like just praying for Trump to tweet something that day. I was like, this is ridiculous, because I couldn't, it was the biggest news ever. I was like blown away. Even when I saw Josh, I told him, I was like, dude, I thought.
Everyone else thinks I should have been invited too.
Yeah, well, first of all, let's get that out of the way. But no, I was like, I thought it was gonna just, I thought he might see it, he might be like, oh, I should have, I didn't think it was gonna catch on like wildfire and just be the biggest, it blew my mind how much press it got. I've known this, I don't know, I just thought, I don't know, we're bros, we've been friends for 20 years. I mean, we've spent the majority of our lives together. We go to school together, we live in the same room together. Our life is together. I don't know, I just thought it was, and then, and there were people that were at the wedding that,
You're like, why are you there, not me?
I'm like texting them, I'm like, yo, how's the fish? I'm like, what, like,
yeah.
It's obviously there's people that, I don't know, it seemed like I think what bugged me about it was it seemed like an obvious, like, oh, you don't think that it came up that, oh, should we invite this person, that person? Oh, it's no, yes, no. I was on the no list, like.
I wish I had a better answer other than like, yeah, life happens and we did this thing that we stopped working on it like over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But whether we were like really close and talking every day or we wouldn't talk for a couple months, like I always like I just want him to be the best.
Well,
like,
yeah, and I feel like he feels that about you no matter what.
I think that's true.
I mean, we hear it every day, I'm sure he does too. It's like, where's Josh? Where's Drake? Where's Josh? Where's Drake? When a fan asks me, where's Josh? Josh! 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 I don't know! It's just, with the whole wedding thing, that was just like, I saw, we've been talking, the thing that surprised me was because we are friendly and we talk all the time, and it just sort of caught me off guard when I saw it on social media. I'm like, you didn't even tell me when, where, how, what? We talked yesterday.
That's not.
And you didn't even tell me that it was in Malibu. I could have, I lived
40 minutes away?
Yeah, you weren't in Hawaii, but whatever. It is what it is. But I love the kid, and he's one of the most talented guys. Like I said, I go back to reminisce on watching what we've done together. When I saw him at the VMAs and he threw his arm around me, he's like, and we hashed it out, and he was telling me, he's like, man, no hard feelings. Like, look.
Did he ever tell you why he didn't invite you? Did you ever get a reason?
He doesn't like me.
Stop. Is that really what it is?
Yeah, and the extra chicken would have been really expensive. It was like another $7.95 or something like that. First, I didn't think he'd want to go. Second, he's like, do you know what planning a wedding is? He's like, my wife is doing this. We're trying to do this. He's like, I don't know what's going on, man. He's like, I just wanted to get it over with and do it, And so he's like, no, I love you, man. You're my bro. So it's, it's all water under the bridge. Dude, honestly, what's so funny is I was actually talking to Josh about this the other day. When we were on, actually.
Well, I mean, that's the number one question that we're gonna have to get into is like people want you guys to have this like death match planned.
Yeah, well,
even though if they watch any of your prior interviews, they'd know.
Yeah, no, there's no death match. There's no death match. We're getting along and everything's fantastic. He's having a baby. It's gonna be wonderful.
You about banged my line
which is
after
wild.
this.
It blows my mind. Okay, whatever. So the press blew a little bit of Josh and my thing out of proportion than what it really is. But if I called Josh right now and I said, "Hey man, what's going on?" He'd be like, "What's up?" and I'd go see him. I mean, we are going to be a family for the rest of our life. We it is all water under the bridge, and we're like brothers.
It's been a beautiful sort of brotherhood that we've had. We bicker like brothers, and we have a great time together too.
Dude, we're brothers, man. In real life, like honestly, we've known each other for 20 years. I'm got to be about 19, 20 years.
That's Drake. That's Josh. And it's all love, people. Back together again. We're all good.
That's amazing.
All right. So,
Wouldn't look like it sucked anyway.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck me? You know what? Mom never even liked you.
She's not our mom. We're not on a TV show.
And Drake Bell has been appearing on Josh's vlogs ever since.
We're together. What else do you
What's
want?
happening, everybody?
This is like...
It should be enough.
So if you're wondering if your future will have more Drake and Josh in it, I think when it comes to Drake and Josh, they'll find a way.
Will you have a kid soon so they can be friends and then have their own TV show?
Oh my god, dude. That's brilliant.
It's been an unforgettable week, but we've got to get back to work and make some more new episodes with Drake and Josh.
Thanks for watching Drake and Josh. We'll see you around.
Hey, it's Joe from VCAM TV Studios. If you liked this video and want to see more documentaries, more TV talk, and just overall funny sketches, related videos, subscribe, and I can make more of these. Feel free to follow me on all the different social medias, and if you want to make a suggestion for the next video you think I should make, people on Patreon definitely get listened to. Keep that in mind.
'Cause I'm number one. He's confusing me.
Smell the flounder.
Por favor. Horrible! You mucker! I said cinnamon! Cinnamon! You give me the money, I ain't playing!
We rode the Demonator.
Pip pip da doodly-doo. Pip pip da doodly-doo. Who's in the doghouse now? We're on E. Well, maybe he means extra fuel. You give me headaches! Hobo!
You calling me a liar?
I ain't calling you a truther. And I can't have you running around here drinking up the place. They're animals. Animals! It's spherical. Spherical!
I repeat things for emphasis.
Emphasis! You make me so angry.
Hot nachos for Drake and Josh.
Man, it's getting hard for me to swallow. Sometimes it's nachos. Take it. It's taco time. Hey now, don't drain back